over. You know what I mean? Like it's just harder for you for this particular campaign. But for another campaign, you know, it's everything is a little more closer together. But once they say it in the book, like no, it's just closer together. Now it forces you as a GM to kind of go against things, and kind of, that may throw things out of whack. I don't know. I think that's kind of senseless too, because the whole point of the miss is that like it there's no real control, you know, and the person that really controls it, aka the Dark Lords, are pretty much anonymous. Like there's no real information about them, which is good because that just basically means they're the DM. Same thing with like AO, you know, any overpower for that part is mostly, you know, kind of like ambiguous and not stated. They're just the person in control of things, aka they're just a personification of like the GM in the game. Kind of like the way fucking what you call it, the one above all represents basically the powers of the writers in the Marvel universe. So it's senseless to just be like, oh, by the way, the one above all is now more distant from the Marvel universe than it used to be. It's like what? It's literally just the power of like it's the campaign itself. Like what's the point in it's even saying that? Like what's the point in it's even saying that? The midst of just an extension of the power of the Dark Lords. Like, oh, now things are more separated. It's like, all right, bro. Separated. It was always just as separated as you're saying it is now. It's there's no gauge to tell me like directly like how much more separated it is versus how it used to be. It's all the same shit. If the GM was like, by the way, you go into the mist, and as you walk out the mist, you go right back into the domains, you just try to leave. Then there's no real. It's not like the character has an understanding that they were supposed to go into the mist and come out in the destination that they wanted to go. Like, no one ever thought that about Ravenloft. You can't even like willfully go to Ravenloft if you want to. Yeah, it's like it's superfluous to say that, to be like, oh, the realms are more separated than they used to. Like no one had a control, or there was no like no one had set frequency for being able to travel in between the domains in Ravenloft anyway. So it's not saying much. So Darren's gonna be joining us this time. I saw him posting in WhatsApp, so I thought.
Darren's gonna be joining.
I saw him posting on WhatsApp, so I
Probably go
thought.
see a lonely wife without her husband.
Who
husband happens to be working overnight. Who husband happens to be working. Didn't that guy say that he was gonna go to our high school reunion? Who husband happens to be working. Didn't that guy say that he was gonna go to our high school reunion? What a predator, man! I'm serious, man. The guy's a predator, man.
Yo, he legit said that.
This guy's gonna go he's gonna go prey on poor women that their man left them, relationship didn't work out, women, fatherless children. He's gonna go like, man left proud, son. Relationship didn't work out. Fatherless children.
He's the color. He's the reaper of weak relationships. He's the color.
Yeah,
if you know your relationship's about to die when Darren's like shows up at your door with like a scythe.
The Green Reaper of like relationship.
For real, son. You don't even have to ask your shorty. Like the minute you see Dana, you're like, ah.
Well, shit. I
That
guess
is
that's
true
the
though.
L. All right, it's time for me to go.
You know, it's true though. This guy Darren is like an undead because when it's like a couple that are like very like, let's say like a couple that are like very much in love, right? That's like warps him. He's like, oh, like, come on. But when he sees the decay in a relationship, always he'll slip in and start talking to this little, woman, looking for someone to talk to. He's very compassionate. He'll big heart. He'll listen, and then wow. Before you know it, that dude is shoving his.
Come on.
He's like, I think he's like he's the ghost. He's the ghost of marriages past. He only shows up when your marriage is going down. And that's how you know your marriage is going down. He just shows up there. You just see him in like the reflection in the mirror while you're brushing your teeth in the morning. You're like, what the fuck? You turn around, he's not there. You're like, oh fuck. My marriage is on the rocks. I saw.
Man, you gotta go buy some flowers. You need to do a 360, man. You gotta take 180 degree. I mean,
the ghost of marriages past.
That man could smell the negative energy leaking off of a wedding ring. That man be like, oh, that wedding ring looking kind of the aura on that ring looking kind of dull there. And when's the last time you cleaned your ring?
Awesome. He cast healing lore call, and with that he could see it was for marriages. He could see like the HP of your marriage. Like,
oh my god!
Damn, your shit is on 5.
That's facts.
I'm not gonna heal you though. I'm just gonna be near you. Make sure that marriage goes to -10, and I'm gonna slide right in. Yeah. Fucked up.
Motherfucker got detect nuptials. Like the fuck?
He knows, man. He be periodically, like every quarter of the year, they look at his like friend list, everybody we went to high school with, see if their marital status changed or something. He'll make a list, and somehow he'll.
Yo, is he going to that high school reunion?
He said that if he does, it's just to see who. He said it straight up. He's like, I'm gonna go see if I can find any like divorced moms and
Oh man.
Shit. That's funny. Oh man.
He just reminds me that life is not all fun and games when it comes to marriage. Shit could get scary.
He's our boy and all that, but he's the type of person you want to keep a lookout on. Man.
I wouldn't be worried about my wife.
Yeah, no, not us.
It's just a reminder that like people like him exist.
That man is one step away from being a predator.
No, he has a code of ethics. Don't get me wrong. Like he wouldn't fuck around with his boys like girls ever. I've never seen him do something like that ever.
Yeah, no,
but like I feel, there's people like other people like Darren's out there, not a part of our.
Yeah.
You gotta
that's
be
the reminder.
Out there. That's what I meant to say. I don't want to slander him either.
Right. That's the reminder is that he's not the only one. Yeah. He's just the one that we're friends with, and so we may have a pass
they come in all shapes and colors. It's like a taste that your significant other might actually like, find agreeable. Like, oh shit.
Right.
Yeah, man. Always on the prowl, man. Freaking guys are despicable, man. I hate the male species of can't trust guys.
Well, I mean, we started off as hunters, so I mean
that's true, man. We're predators, man.
I see the way shit works in nature.
You can only have one alpha male, man, then a bunch of bitches. Only one dude.
I see the way shit works in nature.
Even in nature, even your son, when he's old enough to, you need to get out. Don't be challenged.
See, I watch enough nature to know that to the victor goes the spoils.
That's right, man. You can't. You get old, you get disgraced. You lose. I seen like what is it, the orangutans, I think, or the bamboo. They be like fighting for superiority. Like once you lose, man, that's it. Nobody respects you. You gotta leave, or they're gonna kill you.
They say you lose, done.
And the alpha male, the pack, gets to fuck every freaking monkey out there. Like they can just choose whoever they want. I don't give a shit.
What's fucked up about the dude who used to lead the group, like the pack leader, is after he gets ousted from the pack, as a solitary creature on his own, he becomes like basically like prey in a way, because like
Yeah, he lost his
is he he lost
mojo,
his
man.
crew. Yeah,
He
you
lost his
get jumped
crew,
by
his mojo. Yeah,
another fucking tribe or another like clan or
and
any sort of group,
when he
and you're
got to
done.
throw, he probably got bit the crap up. Probably got an infection.
Yeah,
Died
probably
immediately.
injured. So now you can't even fight at full capacity or hunt at full capacity.
Yo,
So it's like
lions are
fuck.
ruthless. You know, like when a young lion takes over like another pride, they'll eat the cubs, and
Yeah,
then the lion is doing
hippos are
friendly.
worse for that. A
Yeah,
hippo, one bull hippo will go through an entire herd of like female hippos and
oh,
kill every single baby. And the funny thing is, like biologically, the killing of all their children pushes the female hippos into heat.
get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is
it's not
sick.
like there's even any love
That is like
lost.
sick.
Yeah. I mean,
Instead
they
of like
try to protect the babies a little
right,
bit,
right, right.
but
I
not
lost a,
much. Not
yeah, yeah.
much.
Okay, lost the baby going in heat, so I can produce more babies.
Yeah, they barely fight the bulls. But if a female hippo, if anybody other than a bull hippo would try to kill their baby, they would completely destroy that creature. I mean, they're the second largest terrestrial creature on the planet. But like,
Right.
but another bull hippo, it's almost like they barely fight. They just let it happen because it's like naturally a part of like their their biology, I guess, to do things that way. But
Right.
they kill every single fucking baby in the herd, and then fuck all the women themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it doesn't even matter how soon they had the kid. If they had that little baby hippo a week ago and it gets killed by the bull hippo, they still go in the heat.
That's nature for you, man. It's good to
Uh,
be king. It's good to be king.
it's
Gotta
fucked
enjoy
up.
while it lasts.
I mean, it's good to be king, but it's also bad to be king when that new bull comes through and you and
Yeah,
all your
yeah,
fucking kids get killed.
yeah. You can't fuck around, man. You can't fuck
or
around.
you or you get injured and kicked out the fucking pack and then all your kids get killed. It's fucked up.
Or then again, or your own kid will grow up to freaking challenge you and replace your ass, kill you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
happens too.
Zebras, I saw this one footage of a male zebra who was taking over his herd trying to drown another baby zebra.
Yeah, what's up with
And a mom was on the shore kind of like baying, but not really in the water trying to defend it.
mm, what's up with zebras? How come zebras are never used as mule pack or horses or whatever? Are they like weak?
Um
Or are they too
nah,
wild? Or are they
zebras are
too wild?
like actually pretty fucking um big and pretty strong. They're not like
How come they've never been used as, you know,
yeah,
transportation?
I've never seen someone mount a zebra before because they're pretty fucking wild. They're not
What
fun
it is,
creatures.
are they too wild? Like
Yeah, they're
maybe,
pretty wild. I mean, they
oh,
can be domesticated, but they're
probably
pretty
not.
wild. Yeah.
Okay.
I learned one thing too about a zebra I didn't know is that the stripes that they have, the way that they're patterned, it fucks with the eyesight of bugs. So as a result, like because the eyesight of the bugs get fucked up, they can't land properly on the zebra because they end up like misgauging how far the zebra is from them. So they end up just kind of flying into the zebra and bouncing off instead of landing properly. So between that and their tail, they're pretty much like insect proof.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The
Just the
nature,
power on their stripes,
I know
and that
nature.
goes for everything. That even goes for mosquitoes, everything.
Wow. We're like the only being in the planet that don't have like a natural, defense mechanism.
Yeah.
I guess our brain and ingenuity. That's about it. For better or for
I
worse.
think it's because like we
And human beings are like the weakest mammals too, because when we're born, if you don't have a caretaker, you're gonna die.
yeah.
Other animals, like within even a horse, like within like within hours, they're walking already.
Mm-hmm. But one would say because of that vulnerability, we were forced to find like other solutions, and that's why we developed the front half of our cerebral cortex because it was forced to like think about how to survive versus already having a physical, natural, built-in solution. With not, you don't have to think about it. You live in the environment, you automatically adapted to it, so you have no reason to like evolve like any sort of problem solving um cognitive like ability, so you just stay down there. Like cruel, you're automatically bug proof. That's awesome because of your skin, but now that means you'll never like develop the intelligence and within your genes to come up with like insecticide because you got no reason to try. Like,
right. That's true.
All right. All right. Let's see. All right, I got everybody's the buffs that they'll have when they'll enter Carceri. I've got people's equipment, got their HP, everybody's got their character sheets have been done. Let's see. The information that the party gathered was they can either go to the Bastion of Lost Hope or Harrowfell to find further information on their main objective, which is to arrive at the something asylum. What's the name of the Skull Rot? That's what it was. Skull Rot. It was, Skull Rot to get, was that the name of the asylum? Was that the name of the area where the asylum was? Skull Rot's the name of the prison. That's right. The asylum, what is an asylum? Asylum. Prison.
you name an asylum Skull Rot. I'm like, what is the point of bringing my person to this asylum? The purpose of the asylum is to help the insane. Your shit is called Skull Rot. That shit should have been out of business. That's like calling a hospital deathbed. Like, I'm not going there. Why? Clearly, they don't do too well.
Okay. So. Oh, I got you on Cauldron. Here we are. Cauldron. The night before, your party will be resting and then awakening, preparing, and then traveling off this material plane and shunting themselves into another reality beyond here, beyond the astral.
Now, if I remember correctly, you said just now that we have an option of going to get more information. Was that what I heard correctly?
Your characters learned that you can go to two places that will have residents who will have information on locating information on directions to get to Skull Rot, because you couldn't. You know what layer of Carceri that Skull Rot is on. Just not sure the exact location.
Got you. So, we need to teleport.
So you're not. So you're unable to plane shift there, but like near it. But you're able to plane shift into Carceri to then, from there, locate either the Bastion of Lost Hope, which is an outpost of anarchists, as well as a marketplace, or to go to Harrowfell, um, which is a terrible tower said to contain a gemstone that will grant anyone who touches it complete immunity to divination effects and mind control. Basically, a free mind blank if anybody touches it.
Shit. So does that mean we could free people of Adimarcus's influence by having them touch that?
Possibly. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, whoever does touch it, yeah, it's possible. However, the tower is ruled by a strange Merilith demon with a smoking left eye.
Crap. Of course, our solution would be heavily guarded. All right. Well, it's a demon, and we want to body those because, well, they're evil. So I guess that, I mean, it beats trying to body out of Marcus himself. I mean, and then we got to do that because I'm pretty sure he's not going to just politely leave Cauldron alone. So if you're prepared to fight out of Marcus, I guess this demon pretty much is just nothing more but an assistant manager. He's just a sub boss. Shit. Gotta go through him regardless.
So your character's enjoying that hero's feast, eating up that ambrosia.
Sharing some good old stories before we dip.
Man, I would say, yeah, you got quite the company there. From the the Stormblades, the Harpers, some of the other religious leaders like Jenya and Akeshkar, and who's the other one I'm thinking of? Why can't I remember? Oh, well, Nehemiah's there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Basically enjoying what could be the last night.
Yep.
If things don't go too well. And as the night begins to simmer down, and you got to get ready to rest up, Metsuar, I wish Darren was here, but Metsuar informs the group that he'll be going to visit the orphanage. And that he'll come by at the Iron Martyr's Temple in the morning. Makes his way towards the orphanage. Cynthia goes over to her study area, her room, I should say. Making sure she's got her scrolls in order and in place, and Nidrama knocks on her door and asks if she could come in.
Of course.
She walks in. She looks at Cynthia and she just goes, so how are you feeling?
Strong in the faith, But still worried about the fate of those who I may fail. Because I am not a perfect embodiment of Elmater. I am not Elmater in the flesh. And this current fight for a cauldron is, I believe, um, on a scale that is much higher than I would have possibly imagined. And if I had the power to, I would simply just place in the hands of a divine being of a Mater himself. But the fact that we are the only defense here for Cauldron, it must mean that we do have the means to save it. Even if I think that in the face of our adversity, we are so overmatched. What about you? In your thousands of years of experience in these things, have you come across a situation like this before?
Not quite. In fact, I can be the one to tell you that the angels are no closer to such perfection either. Addie Marcus is clear proof of that. But Addie Marcus is not, of course, the only one. Let this be a new revelation. And even the Celestials don't, as studious as you are on that topic, but not even the Celestials have all the answers. For here I, an angel, am coming to a mortal for a confession.
A confession? Well, if that is the case, I know that a Mater may not be a god of your choice, but hold on one moment. Then she turns around and she goes over to, like, her chest where she has like her belongings. She puts on like her raiments, her holy raiments, and the traditional like garb of like a priestess, rather than like wearing like armor. You know what I'm saying? And then she sits down on the edge of her bed, and she takes a very, I guess, serene like state. Her face is not judgmental. There's no emotion shown on her face. It's just it's plain, and it's almost like as if she's just there to receive rather than to add. And she goes, Ilmater will hear what troubles you.
She bows her head. She looks up. And then we go over to Ziono.
Dope. Yo, that's dope, son. She has a confession to make. I wonder what the hell could she have to confess. That's dope.
So Ziono, where's
She's in
the
love.
where's the
She's in love.
where's the last place he'd want to be right about now before he goes to what may be his finality?
Eyebrows raised.
He would probably go and talk to like his firearms regimen right about now.
All right, so you go to the barracks, yeah, and you're basically giving the men. It's at this point where obviously everyone's accepted you. Like you're the captain of the guard now, of like the entire law enforcement.
Captain.
The Shield Marshal.
Uh,
That prestige class.
there was originally some gripe about it because it was a position that had a set of laws to acquire, and in fact there was a. I'm trying to think if I don't think Zino was here for that because Zino came in chapter. Yeah, you guys remember Alambe? Yeah, he wasn't here for that. He came the chapter after, I think. So like, yeah, there was a whole before Zino came along. Yeah, there was a chapter based on like Alambe. Yeah, the paladin that went mad.
Lost his sanity.
He had challenged Captain Tercion to the what do they call it? There's like a law in Cauldron where like if you want the role of captain of the guard, you needed to challenge the current captain. But the only ones that could make that challenge was anybody that was part of one of the original noble houses of Cauldron, the founding nobles.
Didn't they have like a stupid quest to do?
That was the quest with Lord Neptatharon because you had that was the quest where you also first met Nidrama and she guided you along to get to the to see Lord Neptatharon. Was he?
I think so.
I feel like Zino came after Drac.
Zino came the quest after.
I thought Zino came before Messuar. Messuar came like on Lord Nephatharon on the actual fight. I thought Zino was with us already. Am I remembering?
Nah.
When did Zino join us?
Zino joined after. He joined. I remember it was chapter 5, and there was some Umberhulks.
It was chapter 5. I joined.
There was some Umberhulks that attacked.
I'm misremembering.
It was like near the beginning of chapter 5.
Like forever, man.
Nah, if Zino was with us for the Lord Neptatharon fight, then Metsuar wouldn't have gotten that highlight that he got. I think that boy Lord Neptatharon would have got shot up. Like he would have caught some bullets.
That would have been a good fight for range. We had no range, so we had.
Yeah, we had no range. He was bodying us like melee. It was hand to hand. He was bodying us. Remember, he picked up freaking Valenum and threw him. He was stinging someone with a stinger. Yeah.
He rolled like 320s, I think, on Messuar on his debut. Fortunately for him, Claudius was there to save his life, though. With emergency force field, that became like a spell right
What chapter?
Yeah. Lord Neptatharon was a melee beast. So, if Zino was there, he'd have been shooting them from the beginning, from like far away. He'd have been hurt. He would have had to go after Zino first, which would have, given us some more room. But he was on us. He's beating the shit out of us.
Man, when was the was it the Demon Scar Legacy? I think it was chapter 5. Yeah. Yep.
Because imagine if Zano was there when we got attacked by the two wyverns.
Because he was there with the Kuatoa temple.
Yeah, he's at the Kuatoa temple, yeah. But with the two wyverns, nah. He died at the Kuatoa temples.
Yeah.
But with them two wyverns would have got the business. Fucking.
Right. But yeah, it was chapter 4. That was there was a challenge made to Tercion. But Alame wasn't anywhere to be found. And I think your characters ended up like taking on the quest to find him because he was like also like a childhood friend of Jenya, and so she begged you guys to help out also, and then like you guys found out that like you found out there was like something more sinister going on because like why would he run off towards the Demon Scar area? And then you met Nidrama, and Nidrama told you more information, more about what was going on. So your character was like, "Oh, okay, all right, we really do need to handle this." And then he ended up, you ended up getting him. He ended up dying, but So yeah. So the people, like, they were. It didn't last long, but some of them were like, we really want to break tradition like this because Zino's an outsider and he's not one of the noble. He's not a member of any of the old noble families.
He's that new money, that new blood.
Right. So
didn't we naturalize? Didn't we? I remember relating did we go about that becoming like actual like naturalized?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I remember that we, I don't know what's the immigration laws in that. Yeah, that's actually my field. I don't know what.
Bro, they trying to deport us. They trying to deport us.
They're trying to deport us.
Try to give party some ranks in immigration laws.
We just put time in and saving this city. Like, y'all, but y'all got to
You
go.
know what? That's actually one thing. That's actually one thing I'm better than Claudia for real life immigration.
Oh shit! Like, we don't have no Dream Act here. You can either go.
That's my son.
We appreciate you saving Cauldron and all, but like rules are rules. You gotta bounce.
Rules are rules.
But
we'll take all the stuff we fucking put in this motherfucker with us. Like, all right.
However,
we're about to do a coup. Now. We need to change the government. We're about to do a coup.
But what ended up happening? What ended up happening, especially after like so many of the crazy events and how torn apart the city and all the shit that's been going on, like basically all the noble houses were like, yeah, now we're gonna ignore that part. We're putting Zino up on the stand right there. He's the new.
I mean, to fix that, all they have to do was grant us status. The same way kings used to do that. Kings used to do that all the time.
Well,
like,
yeah, I know, but like
lordship.
he doesn't have a bloodline with any of the founding noble houses. That's the one.
Oh, it has to be a founding noble.
Yeah, he has
house,
a
not just
founding noble house.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's why Alambe qualified because he was a member of one of the founding noble houses. But yeah, I mean, ever since Tercion, what happened to Tercion? Then he died, didn't he?
No, he's
no, Captain Tercion's still alive.
No, we've been dealing with him a lot. Like, he's actually one of the people that we trust, right? Did he die recently?
I can't remember what happened there.
I don't think he died.
God,
I think
damn,
like
that man's so live. I'm like, all right, you ain't in this position no more.
Can you marry into nobility? That's something used back, in those times. Can you marry into nobility?
Well,
Let's say, like, marry a noble.
True.
Lady.
Can you marry? Yeah.
Marry into the founding. Man.
Excuse me.
Marry into power.
No, I'm trying to. I'm seriously trying to remember because he kind of like.
I endorse Sino for Major. Lord Major.
Because I can't remember. Like he faded into the background after a certain point. At a certain point, he ended up fading in the background. I can't remember if it's because he got killed off or. I know people were not satisfied with him at all with the way things were being run and the fact that they got mad at him for even having. They got mad at him for like. Agreeing to hire
the Blue Duke,
the Blue Dukes and his mercenaries to help out, and besides the mayor, like he was in charge of like the law enforcement. I can't fucking remember. That's bugging me right now because it's like he ended up like fading in the background. Nobody talked about him since. I could have swore I could have swore he might have died though.
Or if anything, the city could just sanction Zino to pick his own riflemen and have them as like their own separate battalion that he's the leader of. The same way how you have like the MIT was it magic and the MET magic enforcement. I forgot.
The MTA,
yeah, magical tech.
The reason I remember that is because MTA, it's transportation.
Yeah, it's a magical tactic.
That's a good way to remember it.
Magical tactic enforcer, something like that. I forgot what it stood for. Yeah. Okay, yeah, Tercion was also the one that was like trying to quell the riots violently.
No, you have to go. He had to go.
Oh, when that fucking air elemental attacked, they were trying to calm the crowd down.
The breath drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, let me
That
look
man
up.
fought a dragon and won, then he could totally like keep this position. But, you know, I don't think that happened. Okay, I could challenge him for the position, but just know I fought
To
a
be like,
dragon and won.
have you ever killed a Bebelith in one shot? I have.
I have.
So shit.
I'm a run. It's like, hey, let me get this. Let me get that.
You go body a Bebelith in one shot.
That's what it
and then,
was.
you know,
and then
you
on
can
and
actually
then
have
and then on top of
conversation.
that, he didn't like the chisel.
Oh, that's not smart. They got all the whole guild and all the money of Cauldron pretty much on their side. Like, why would he not like the chisel?
Yeah, he didn't like them because they were whatchamacallit, they spoke out against like any all the corruption that's been going on, and he felt like they were just being nothing but anarchists and causing an insurrection.
Dang. This guy is sounding like a very bad politician. Sound like he was on his way out the door.
Yeah, he's definitely a warrior. Didn't go to I guess military college. Definitely not officer material. What do you call it? Military academies and shit like that. You know, you gotta learn that decor. See, generals, captains, see those people. They're mostly like, yeah, they're warriors, very strategic, but they're mostly politicians. You would never see, you know, a general like in the front line. No, they're rubbing shoulders there with the elected officials and shit.
I mean, in this day and age, if you did see a general on the front lines, that would be godlike. I'd be like, what?
I think the last person to do that shit is like General Pat. The World War II era, the World War II era generals. You don't see that shit now, not in modern days. Back then, man, those were like real freaking live action heroes. Yo, even Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, he never achieved the rank of like, you know, field officer. You know, like he was never like a general. But that dude with the Rough Riders, look it up. Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders in Cuba, going up the mountain. That dude was like leading the charge, the cavalry, like with the and since he used to use spectacles, this dude had like more than like 10 spectacles. So if one broke, you just switch it to another. Like, you know, for his freaking 2 revolvers. So
okay, all right, that's what happened to him. I found out what happened to him.
Yeah, that's dope. Son.
I just found out what happened to him. It was during chapter 9, the chapter where Cauldron eventually was erupting.
He got killed? He got murked?
Yeah, he was murked.
Who replaced him? How he died?
No, actually, nobody even knows exactly what happened to him, and the rumors was he committed suicide.
I doubt that.
But we could cast Speak with Dead and find that out.
Your characters, your characters know. I mean, I think your characters knew he didn't commit suicide. Fucking Valantru, aka Orbis, ended up killing him.
Damn.
Because he worked with Valantru a lot, and was actually getting corrupted by him, which is why, like, you noticed Tercion doing more and more heavy-handed, iron-fisted, like, law enforcement. And yeah, nobody knew what happened to him.
Damn.
And I think I might have had it where I did have it where Orbis did kill him. Yeah, Orbis did kill him, and I think he gloated about it when you guys met him, because like I think I said you see like the pieces of a broken statue, and you know it's like one of the broken pieces is like a face that you recognize, and it was Tercion's. I think he had turned him to stone and then broke him.
Oh, okay. I thought I was mixed up. I thought that he was replacing an existing Lord Valantru, who was like the mayor of the city, and the broken statue that he showed was the actual Lord Volantru that he replaced by wearing
Oh no.
the simulacrum suit. But then you cleared up for me that the simulacrum suit was actually Lord Volantru from the very beginning. Like there was no physical Lord Volantru that he replaced. It was just he put on simulacrum suit, called himself Lord Volantru, and went in
Yeah.
as such. And
Yeah.
so when you cleared that up, I guess I didn't put two and two together and realize that that was Tercion's fucking statue that we saw there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where he is then. All right, damn.
But so yeah, so it was like after that when they were trying to figure out who would take over next, and they wanted his like his right hand dude basically, Qualu. Qualu, like he ran it for a time, but then he was one of the people that vouched for Zino to lead instead. Like so it was him, all the church leaders and all the nobles pretty much was like, if anybody's gonna do this, we want, you know, Zino's proven himself capable and willing, so, and um, we're putting our chips, pretty much our chips in. He can have the position, so he's got the position
For
pretty much.
real. Because it's like, do you want somebody who's royal, or do you want the best person for the job?
Who's been in the
It's
trenches?
like,
So now
so
that
you could be royal all
you're
you
a
want, but
captain
are
of the
you good
guard,
enough?
and as captain of the guard, the first thing that he did was establish his rifleman unit, his firearms unit. So yeah, you're over there.
You guys need to do collaboration with the MTA rifleman slash magic users. You go have the MTAs. Claudius could provide the spell. I could hook them up with name bullet spell.
Yo, because it's crazy. Cause I mean,
create a whole bunch of wands, man. Be like,
it's crazy because originally I had plans for if Ricky was still playing the Zalarian.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the head of the MTA.
I was gonna set it up so the Zalarian could become the head of the MTA at some point.
Yeah, man, the rifleman and the MTAs. Yo, that would have been dope.
Yeah.
And then you got like Mensor's dojo, although all his monks are little kids. I don't even know.
all his monks are not little kids. All his monks not little kids. I wrote that whole short story. He has like 8 disciples. They're called the 8 mazes.
He don't even need disciples. He counts as like 100 monks himself. Like suffering.
I don't think he's raising child soldiers, so I'm trying to.
Yo, you're raising child soldiers.
Yeah, they're not like warrior monks. Yeah.
Valenum got his. I mean, he has an entire freaking organization, like the freaking church, whatever.
I got 2 of them. I got a Knight's Order.
Claudius don't got no organization. I mean, he has his little inn, but he ain't into that starting army shit. Then again, he don't need one.
You have a business though.
He has a business. He could always just summon a freaking army when he needs it.
Right. You don't even need no organization. You get summon the organization.
Yeah.
It's a summon organization.
He might end up selling that business.
Okay. So you're at like I said, you're at the barracks, and you're giving you're giving the final commands, and obviously like Qualu's looking at Zino, like he's got this look on his face of like, if shit hits the fan, like I guess he's gonna have to be the one to take over, because if someone's got to protect Cauldron when everyone's out and help lead, and you can tell you see Quali, you can tell he's kind of you can tell he's kind of nervous about the situation.
Well, Zino puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, "Listen, you vouched for me once, and it is definitely my time to do the same. You have been here and watched things unfold. You've seen what I can do. You've seen these people, and just like They look up to me to help protect the city. They will look up to you just as well if I don't come back. And I couldn't think of another person who I would have by my side if I don't come back to take the reins and make sure Kojin is still safe when I'm not here.
You're right. I'll make sure. That everything here, that we'll do our utmost best to protect everyone in this city. And if we're the last ones to leave, so be it.
There's a reason we're still here. And it's we have stood, kept our grit, and kept our faith. There's a reason we're still here, and we'll make sure that we're still going to be here at the end. These men, these women, they will be here to fight. And they will look to you for guidance.
Thank you, Zaina. You and the Vindicators for everything that you've done. I shall see to it that me and the men go down to Akeshgar's temple, pay our respects to the Lord of Battle. We're gonna need Tempest's blessings.
Yes. It won't be easy, but all the blessings in the world, in this realm, and the next will definitely do you some good. Do not falter on your skills and your abilities. They have kept you this far, and they will keep you going further.
And with that, he bids you a good evening. And eventually the barracks gets quiet. Some of them have left to go to their bunkers or to their homes if they have any in the outside the bunkers. You you go towards your office pretty much. Just the study for the office room with the captain of the guard. Um, you with your keen perception, you you recall. Well, not recall. This is something that anybody would do. Your door's always locked. But this time you're going towards the office. The first thing you notice is the door. The room's dark, of course. But the door's ajar, as if somebody unlocked it and then didn't even close it all the way.
Zaina inches towards the door, and he whispers, "Who's in here? I don't like people in my office without me knowing." And then he opens the door.
You ain't surprising me.
You open the door, and the light from the
Sharpshooter.
hall.
Eyes of an eagle.
Actually, this is the night before. Isn't luminous armor on? Or was that on? That's on already, isn't it? I think. How long does that last?
I think that has what's the duration on that one? You can tell by the duration.
Yeah.
1
If
hour.
if it's a 1 day one, then it would be going on 1 day before.
It was a greater. It should be greater.
Yeah.
It's a 4th level spell. It's on the day before. It's 1 hour per level. Yeah.
Yeah, so if she extended that, that means it would be on for like 2 days.
Bro, that man was talking to me. I'm up there looking like a fucking lamp.
Yo, so not to be.
I mean, you walking around, you got the daylight effect on there. I don't know how you.
Listen, guys, not to be perverted, but let's say like Zion wanted like to jack off and stuff. Does that mean his shit is like glowing? Is like his shit like glowing too? When he busts his nuts, it's glowing also like.
Dude, hold on.
This guy got his private parts freaking luminous armor, like his entire body.
It
works. His entire body.
It works on it's a good creature. Okay.
Yeah, it's only on the people with good alignment.
Okay.
So it's like Xyno.
I see the light.
So it's just
Cynthia,
Xyno, Cynthia, and Metso. Yeah. Okay.
Metzwar and
You
drama.
walk up to girls,
They had to put shades on, like, Dino, you gotta go. I miss you, man. Just put the shades on.
Yeah.
And it works. Yeah, it's a creature effect. So he's just walking around with a shimmering aura of light.
I know, man.
He's talking to everybody. Everybody's like,
even if
they only get blinded if they go to hit him. That's the only time they get blinded, if they go to.
They go to hit him and it flashes right in their face.
Mm-hmm. It's like, ah.
But it's as bright as the daylight spell. That's bright.
Yeah, that's really bright.
It's not like it's not like blinding bright. It's like
there's just daylight everywhere.
I got a solution that you could do. What's this guy's name is? My own character. Johan used to do. Because Johan used to have luminous armor. He had Mograine use deeper darkness on a couple of coins or on a pendant.
Oh.
So like what Johan would do is like when he's out and about, like not really adventuring, he will have his pendant out with deeper darkness.
Wait, I think I have.
And then when he needs to bright, then he would just hide it inside his shirt. So you guys can do that also.
I think he canceled out the light effect by that's right.
Yeah.
He'd pull the coin out and bring normal lighting back, and then
I think he had like an amulet of tomorrow, so he would just cast it on.
I could shroud myself in darkness, though.
Well, that way you don't.
That's true.
That way you don't stand out. You don't want to be glowing all the whole time, And then
this man walking down the street, that's just shining in people's houses. Like,
Cynthia walks around glowing all the time. She doesn't take that off. She got that light on 24/7.
Yeah, I can shroud myself in darkness.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I think it brings it to normal lighting. I gotta check. But anyway, you bring light into the room. You don't need the fucking.
Yo, be like
you don't need the light a lantern in there. But you open the door and.
Yeah, because you never know, man. You want to sneak, hide and shit. You never know.
You open the door and the chair is swiveled towards the back wall. There's somebody in it. And you look and you just see like a slender right hand with the top of the hand has like a sort of reptilian hide to it, and it's twirling a pepper box pistol. And so the chair swivels around, and it's the wind of the south, right?
Yeah, I can do it. I've been waiting for this bitch to come back for like 3 levels.
Longer than that. I'm trying to remember when he did see her. It was a long time ago.
Man, I had to be like level 12 or some shit. Like,
yeah, man, that's homage to you, Watson. Didn't you create those like
the wins, the 4 wins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the best gunslingers.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. And one of them is like undead, I think, right? That's the one with Luseki's nemesis.
This one,
yeah.
I remember.
No, this one is
That's the south. The east wind is the one who's undead. No, the wind of the west.
She's her appearance is sorry. It's mostly human, but there's a saurian aspect to her appearance, not snake.
Yeah, how would you know the difference between that? Is it in like the facial features? Her face looks like dinosaur like or
I'd say
something?
it's the facial features and the scale. Like instead of snake scale, it's more like dinosaur hide. Like I know there's a difference. I know dinosaur hide scales would look nothing like a snake's.
Yeah, because like dinosaur hides don't is straight leather. It's not scales.
Yeah.
Like just like how alligators leather is just it's straight just tough leather hide. It's not scaly, although they are reptiles. So I guess dinosaurs will pretty much have the same flesh as like alligators do. So I guess it wouldn't be scaly. It would just be leathery. So it would be it would look the texture would look hard and it would be shiny on top.
I like
Are
her facial features
there different dinosaurs?
instead of looking
What was that, Pachardo?
Are there like different kind of dinosaurs? Like some are like more reptilian, others are more
Shit's
leathery.
wild.
Not that I know of.
Like the brontosaurus, for example, looks meaty. It doesn't look like scaly, right? The brontosaurus, that big plant
Yeah, I know
eater.
what you mean.
But then,
Yeah,
like
it
but then
doesn't none
The T Rex looks leathery though.
all from what I remember, all dinosaurs have leather skin. They don't have scales. None of them have scales.
God,
and some of them possibly have feathers.
yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly that's where birds pretty much come from. Like they were split off. They're considered raptorons, so they're split
Right.
away from like the
I
raptors.
forgot what
But none of them have scales though.
I forgot what dinosaur they found recently that still had its hide intact, and they did find like feathers on
Wasn't
it.
it the woolly mammoth? Woolly mammoth. They're trying to freaking clone the woolly mammoth.
Yeah, they're trying to clone. Yeah, they're trying to get the funding
I don't know
to.
how I feel about that. Jurassic Park.
They're trying to get funding to be able to clone a woolly mammoth. They got the
I don't know.
means. They're trying to get the funding. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's just a woolly mammoth. Fuck it, do it.
For real, it's a herbivore. I'm not too worried about it.
Why not a woolly mammoth?
I'll tell you where the ethical shit's gonna come in is if they try to clone a Neanderthal.
What about humans?
Mm.
They're trying to revive. They're trying to revive a mammoth. So anything is possible at this point.
Right.
And they got the funding for it.
I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised.
they did get the funding for it. Oh
Yeah,
shit!
someone funded it.
Fund what?
Of course, I expected that. If anything, I'm surprised fucking
somebody was
Yeah.
Elon Musk didn't jump on funding that.
Funded what? Neanderthal?
No, funding cloning mammoth.
No, the mammoth.
Cloning
Oh, the mammoth. Yeah, the mammoth.
Yeah, because the news I saw earlier was they were trying to get the. Then somebody was like, "Here you go."
That's dope.
Yeah, gave him 15 million just on the spot. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yo, I bet you,
Smart move because they're gonna get credit. They're gonna get credit for it when that happens.
If they went to GoFundMe and it was serious, like people knew it was legit, I bet you like mad people across the world would just pour money at them anyway. For real. Like if they made it like a legit GoFundMe and people could verify it's not like a scam, be like, who wants to see a woolly mammoth get revived? We have the means. All you gotta do is send us $1. Yo, everybody in the world will fucking give them money. So
Maybe
Cash App, all that shit.
Maybe 100 million years ago, they did a GoFundMe in another galaxy. Hey, let's go spread seeds in that Earth-looking planet over there. We're all probably clones.
Let's see how well these idiots form.
Yo, that's true.
But
yo, we creating creatures now. Shit, that's like God complex shit. But
it's fucked up that we could clone. I think it's
creatures more.
The thing about it is like that's an extinct creature. But I think the last white rhino got killed this year, so that just went extinct this year.
It was a while ago. Yeah, the last white rhino.
So, I mean, we're gonna need this technology if we're gonna try and save the world's ecosystem because, we fuck shit up.
Yeah,
that's the least we could do.
We're good at destroying things.
But so she she turns to face you. She's got her wide brimmed hat on.
Wait, we can't skip over this. We're talking about this woman's heritage. So which Saurian is she like related to? Because there's multiple Saurians.
Oh, I know.
Like.
I'm not exactly sure. Her face, it appears very predator looking.
You got a picture?
So does she have like little bumps that would be like like little bumps that would have been frills if she was like a full dinosaur? It would have been like a full like thing, or does she have like two little nodes right here that would have been horns for a triceratops? Like trying to figure which one she's related to.
I know you're like which one? I want to say more. Not Velociraptor. What's the other one? What's the Deinonychus? Or like that.
Deinonychus. Is that the one that flies?
No, that's
Deinonychus. You got Google.
the one the Velociraptors were originally based off of.
Yeah, that's what they were based off. Yeah, so that's what she has a. Okay.
I mean, I would say obviously her face ain't looking like that. Her eyes, she got like the eyes that look like it, and like the face would. The face would resemble it, but look more human. No, look more human than raptor, but.
Well, I don't see nothing.
Not bringing it up. Oh.
So does she have like? Does she have like the round, beady eyes of it?
Let me open it in a
Yeah,
different browser.
her eyes. Yeah, her eyes look like that. Her eyes.
Her eyes. Okay, so she has the eyes for sure.
They stare.
She probably has the eyes, and maybe her hair is her hair somewhat like. Is her hair somewhat like?
She got like
feathery in texture.
She got a little feathers.
I would say her hair is like
feathery.
Yeah.
What color? She like
a light brown.
Light brown.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
All right, that works.
It's sort of like this weird creatures like One Piece. I like that.
All right, cool. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think any other character has seen her, so else they'd be able to try and identify what race she is.
She ate a mythic beast, ancient beast, devil fruit.
Well, yeah.
She one of the Animal Kingdom pirates. She's one of the gifters.
One of the gifters. Oh, yeah, you know about that.
Yeah, I'm caught up. All caught
up. I know how far along you were. Nice.
All caught up.
Gifters.
Yeah. I just caught up. We just caught up a week ago, and now we're watching Jujutsu Kaisen. We're on like episode 5.
Jujutsu Kaisen godlike.
That is godlike,
isn't it?
Oh, you ain't seen it yet.
Did you guys? Oh, I'm gonna wait till you guys get to my favorite character. You're gonna know exactly who he is.
This weekend, I ain't even heard of that.
Yeah, watch it. It's only 20. I mean, it's only season 1 right now. Season 2's out next year.
Oh, nice.
Season 1 is done already?
I'm gonna say my favorite character is Toto.
I fucking knew that was gonna be your favorite character.
Season 1 already done? I like it when the seasons are over for like new seasons.
Yeah, it's 24 episodes, and then there's another.
Okay.
There's another season.
I actually last weekend I actually saw season 3 and 4 of Sword Art Online.
Oh, actually, they got a movie coming out in December.
Oh my god, season 3 like first half was so like boring, but it builds up though.
It builds up a lot. Yeah, I finished Sword Art Online.
It was a lot of backstory. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but him and his friend went through mad shit though.
Oh my god, yeah. But the end of season 3 and then season 4 was fire though. It's like,
it still made me sad that he was gone the whole time in season 4. Like
I know.
it made him going really matter though.
Well, that shit looks dope. I gotta look into that.
Yeah,
I know it was.
animation is
Toto
fucking fire. I tell you that much.
Toto is my favorite character, and when you get to Toto, his very first entrance, the very first words that come out of his mouth, you'll know exactly why he's my favorite.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't. Yeah,
That's why he's Watson's favorite character.
I'll remember the names when he pops up. I'll be
Just
like,
the name is
okay.
all you need. Just Toto. You'll be like, "Yep, that's Watson." If he was an anime character,
Toto. You know why? Because Toto in Spanish means pussy.
Yo,
which you would get
when
when you see his character. Which would make sense when you see his character.
That makes perfect sense.
Are you serious?
Hold on. Wait. Because I'll tell you this. I've seen a lot of video memes on Jujutsu Kaisen. Is this the motherfucker that everybody has quoting going?
Yes.
Mr. Friendle. That dude?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay. I knew it. Yo.
That's what I'm gonna be watching.
Just from the meme clips I've seen on him, that guy, I was like, yo, I know he's a big favorite of a lot of people. He's gotta be.
Yo,
yes, he's like character. My best friend.
Best friend. Toto.
He
the best you watch, but the funny thing is, he's not like that.
And I think I've seen like he has some ability where like something. His ability reminds me of benign transposition when when the Vindicators do it.
Whoa! Why are you throwing out these spoilers for Pachado? I don't understand. We said a name.
I'm not even paying attention. That's fine.
Okay.
It don't make no sense to me. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not even...
Don't give it any context. Just leave the name out there.
No context. It's fine.
When you see him, you'll know.
Yeah, you'll know Pachado. You'll be like, okay. I knew. I had a feeling it was him. I was like, it's got to be that dude.
Yeah, man, that's my favorite dude. But yo, that anime, the two main characters, because they always have to have an anime where, like, kind of like a friendship. I feel like the relationship between the main characters are a mature version of the way Naruto and Sasuke should have been. Yet again. I felt that way about Hunter x Hunter too, between Gon and Killua. That was a more mature version of the way Sasuke and Naruto's relationship should have been. I just kind of felt like that was the one thing Naruto I didn't like. Like, I felt like they took the rivalry and they stretched it out too long over the course of the entire series. It made Sasuke look like an idiot. Like, there's no way it's possible that someone. Well,
now the relationship now the relationship that everybody's been wanting to have is in Boruto.
Right.
You gotta watch that series just to get what you've been wanting to see in Naruto.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, but it's still missing so much of the other good qualities that are in Naruto. So it's like, it's always like a Gestalt kind of situation where they're like parts that really should be together, but they're just separated, and so their sums are different than what it should be. But like, the relationship in Jujutsu Kaisen between the main characters, perfect. And like Sakura and Naruto, how she's like the bitchy type. In Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a character like that, but doesn't get on your nerves like Sakura.
She doesn't get on your nerves, yeah.
Yeah,
for
real.
It's just done better.
I
but
think
hey, you do the
blueprint,
right?
is pretty good too.
Yeah, the power scaling is really good. It doesn't go too crazy.
You know. Normally, like when you watching an anime, the end credits, I usually skip through that crap. I hate the songs and all that crap. But when I was seeing season 4, like the first half of season 4, the ending credits, like this song, I loved it so much. I even bought it on Apple, son. I bought the
really
$6.99 because that's like that's the 1 minute 30-second version from the anime. When the end credits, and then she got like the full version, like 4 minutes 30 seconds. Such a glorious score. I loved it. I've been playing that shit like on repeat, like the whole week.
Shit, I felt that way about earlier on.
It goes so good with the mood of the anime around that time. So yeah, I just put the link there. It's like my favorite like end credit at the moment.
The early Naruto theme songs, like not from Shippuden, but just from regular Naruto, those theme songs, every last one of them hit, bro. They all hit to me.
Mm. Yeah, that's. I mean, an anime, especially if it has like a good score, it's a winning piece. Even if the anime is mediocre, if it has like a good score, the music, that's the.
Yeah, I think the reason why the music is so good is they got so much money from their previous success. Their production is just going to be off the chain, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I'm glad you guys brought up that anime, man. I got something to watch this weekend, man.
So yeah, she swivels. Yeah, she's facing Ziono.
Immediately, he starts laughing.
She's twirling her.
We don't want to see bestiality.
She's twirling it, and then she throws up in the air. She catches again in her finger, and twirls it, and she puts it back in its holster, and she's like sitting in your chair. She puts her feet up on a desk. She's like,
If it was anyone else, they would have been shot for coming in my office. But
so she's
I'm at a loss for words.
She's smiling. She's like, huh? Got a comfy little job in here, huh? Interesting. She's like, Aldina would be proud of how far you've come.
Careful.
That's a dope song, Potato.
Yeah, but she says that.
Instruments.
She says that in like your. I'm trying to remember. Has she mentioned her before? No.
I think she did the first day we met. The first time we met.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I did because I wanted it to be. I guess now would have been a better time for a revelation that she knew her. But well, now's a revelation to know that she knew her. Like she didn't know her. Like I think before she like made it sound like she knew her as a rival, but like with this statement, you can tell she's making it sound like she knew her as a friend.
Zino cuts to this chase. Listen, there's a lot of things that's happening, especially it's going to happen in the coming hours. So I need to know why you're here.
I'm here to see.
I would have seen you. I'd be excited, but with trying times, it looks like the duel I wanted to have with you when I was younger and less gray hair might have to be put on hold.
Oh, she goes.
I mean, got the Barack Obama thing going on.
So she goes, I'm here to see you off. And she with her other hand, she pulls out big bottle of brandy.
Oh,
It's big ass bottle of brandy.
We use every help we can get.
Trying to get fucked up before you go to your death.
Just one huge grin.
Very feathery.
He says the gods must have a sick sense of humor.
She's like, this is going to be a night
to
remember, right? This is going to be a night.
Yeah, so you about to get some Saurian pussy, nigga.
She wants your seed so she can create the ultimate gunslinger.
Oh shit! What the fuck? Okay, no, she goes. This is gonna be. She goes. This might be your last night. So we're gonna drink. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Aldina. We're gonna talk about our past. And we'll talk about what's in store for the future. I need to see what level of commitment that you have to all this. I want to be sure that you do come back alive. And the only way anyone can come back alive is when they're fully, truly, not just connected with themselves, but understand, accept, and dare I say, love themselves.
He leans on the door frame, and he was smiling originally, but it's disappeared. And he looks at the bottle of brandy, and he goes, That's my favorite."
Yeah.
We are all right. Let's drink. But when all of this is done and I come back, you will pay for shooting my hat that day.
Just still has a hole in it.
Fair enough.
Oh, you shot my hat off my head. And like that was the day I knew.
You could have gone to a seamstress, like a copper piece to fix that shit.
So fair enough.
What if it was a magic hat? She didn't even know. She
didn't even know. She
could have damaged that motherfucking hat. That shit was magic. Worth like
dead ass sitting in a bar.
Worth like 4,000 gold and shit.
So she goes. So she goes. She goes. As we drink and we talk.
Or sentimental value too.
She goes as we drink and we talk. We're done. Right before we're gonna call it a night, Zino. And she pours like the glasses. She sets the bottle down. She goes, I need to tell you the full story of Eldina and Scarlet.
That was your mentor, right?
Oh, shit.
And
Let's get it. The origin.
And you know what?
Got killed.
Maybe that would be the incentive to make sure you get back here. Because there's a lot more to that rifle than you could possibly imagine.
Next stop, we're going to God's domain and check out that god. Yeah. Oh, oops. Did I say that or not?
The gods want this weapon back.
We just got to slap God around, man, when we epic level, son. We'll let Messor lead the charge.
So she goes. So she goes.
Yeah, Dragonbane did it.
She goes. Oh, I wouldn't say the gods of Faerun want it back.
We need to go talk to Gareth Dragonsbane.
That rifle.
How to take out a guy.
She goes. No, she's like. She goes. It's much bigger than that. So she as she says that, she takes a swig of her glass. And we go to Claudius.
Damn.
Claudius, what I missed?
So Claudius, one of the last things you do, you're at Sanctuary. Make sure everything's in order. Probably giving bonuses to your employees. Like, well, this is gonna be my last. You see the Dwagar? Damn, what was his name? Fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, he comes out and he's like, dishes are done. And he stretches.
Yo, Claudius' sanctuary is very diverse, man. You got like all kinds of races in there, son.
For real, they got everything.
Dwarves, humans of every species you can think of.
So he's like,
SG1, a freaking android. Wait, I forgot what he is.
So he's like, I can tell. As he looks at you and he's like, I can tell. You're thinking you might not be here again. He's like, so why not do what you've loved? See the last customers out. It's quite a bunch of them tonight too. I guess guess the gods. I guess the gods must be a sign from them. He's like, I'm gonna go deal with the wastes.
You know me so well. I do find it very therapeutic. It takes my mind off of more other world-changing events. It's nothing like just serving those that really enjoy your product. You see, like Claudius, like you're about like to put like a ponytail, like rubber band it together. Seeing like, wow, you're right. We do have a lot of patrons today. It's been quite a few nights. Yeah, so Claudius puts on his apron and oh, by the way, Lewis, Claudius learned this from the Black Staff. He always has this spell on now himself as well. He adopted that from the Black Staff. That shit, he had that level 3 spell. It lasts a couple of hours. That shit that hides all your freaking auras and crap. What's it called?
Oh,
I don't want to open my character sheet. I don't know if I placed it in mine.
I said the one non-detection?
Non-detecting. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
So like if anybody has like magic eye or detect magic, it's like Claudius is just like a simple old man, no buffs or anything. He just looks like a mundane, regular, ordinary Joe. That's his style. Before he like he thought he looked like defenseless and shit, but then like people made it a point like, yo, you freaking you freaking shining like freaking Green Lantern and shit. I intimidate patrons too, because he caters to everybody, good, evil. Man, money's money. As long as you don't freaking break the peace. It's supposed to be a peaceful sanctuary, or else. Trying to do a sigil, right? Is that a place where everybody can just mingle in there and sigil?
Sigil, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a little mini, Shulton sigil over here. I already have 2 portals, one leading to the Leighton's church, another one to the Pillars of Souls, and
that's true.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that's how you start. A few
one portal at a time.
all the time. Man. Eventually, I'll have to get one to Silvery Moon, the Red Wizard Phase,
You know what? That may actually be a good idea. Since Louis made it perfectly clear that creating an entire realm of our own is going to be something that's going to be over the course of many lifetimes. So we could do that over and think about that. But we'll start the seeds for that to happen down the line.
You remember the movies in the series, The Highlander, like church and like cemeteries were like holy grounds. Immortals will not fight there.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the sanctuary. It doesn't matter what beef you got. You gotta follow the rules. I will make a missile. Whoever has violent intent and hacks out, that freaking same whatever it is, spell reflection times 10 on that motherfucker.
Nah, because then that may cause damage to your property, even if the spell reflects.
No. I'm the.
Oh, but what if it's still that wouldn't work where area effect spells or touch spells? So maybe because reflection only works on targeted stuff. So basically, what you could do is you could just get them the heck out of there. So the minute they have like evil intent, it automatically teleports them into the middle of the ocean.
Oh, that's even better.
It's like it just drops them off into the middle of the Cholton Ocean, just drop them there, but like peace.
Oh, I'm not even trying to harm them.
Right, it's not harming them. Just drop them in the ocean. Like, hey, hope you can swim.
What is a fire element or something?
Hey, they should have known better. Like, the rules. So if you need some time to cool off, it's going to drop you in the middle of the ocean where you'll get plenty of water to help cool you off.
What if the nearest landmass is 100 miles away?
If that's the case, then you could hire some. The city could have some people out there. Just I don't know what to tell them. They should have known better.
Right.
There's a sign outside that says if you come here.
I like what they have in Silver and Moon. They got those They even have a prestige class for those mages. What do they call them? I forgot. You know, it's like a 5-level prestige class.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah, it's in the Silver Marches book.
Yeah, the silver. Right. I'm like, what the hell? This freaking lady over here has all these freaking dedicated mage prestige class she created for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to protect her freaking.
Oh, the spell guard of Silvery Moon.
Yeah, the spell guards, man.
Yeah.
There's two of them. There's the spell guard and there's the Silver Knights.
But then
You're right. The Silver Knights. Yeah, because it's the
there's-
Silver Knights are led by her
There's two of
her
them.
half elf
Lady
son.
Illustrial, right? Lady Illustrial, I think it is. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lustria.
Lustria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her herself. You don't got no levels on that. No freaking spell guard. Mm-hmm.
Nah, she don't got no levels in any of those prestige classes.
She's a sorcerer, archmage, or wizard.
Yeah.
She ain't fucking around with like taking that levels. You're like, no.
But yeah, all her sons are godlike too. Like they're all high level, like godlike dudes. So like half elves. Yeah, they're a bunch of half elf, half humans with like some of them, all of them have like sorc levels, but it's sorcerer mixed with other stuff like
that's
sorc
what it
paladins,
was.
sorc fighters,
It
sorc
was
rangers.
the Knight Errant of Silvery Moon. That's what it was.
So she got a knightly and a wizardly order.
And yeah.
Plus the info.
And her own fucking kingdom.
Yeah, her own king. Yeah,
you got the Knight Errants and the spell guards.
And she's one of the 7 sisters too, a favor of the deity of magic. Ain't nobody fucking with her.
And she's on the Council of the North. So like basically, all the Dale lands, whenever they have to come together to take care of like the trolls of Nesme and shit like that, it's her, King Brunor, and I forgot I think the people in Westgate, I forgot, but I know it's definitely her and King Brunor and somebody else. Oh yeah, the leader of Nesme. Those three. And I think there's a representative from Shadowdale. I forgot who it is, but usually they come together whenever they have to deal with like the trolls that that start fucking destroying the Silver Marches because there's so many trolls in the Silver Marches and shit. Especially they fuck up Nesme. They beat the shit out of Nesme all the time. The trolls are no joke. Nesme doesn't trust anybody because they're always so fucking pressed by monsters.
Right.
I
remember they treated Dritz like a piece of shit. They didn't even want to let him in the city walls. They were gonna leave him outside in the city. Like,
oh, because he's a draw, right?
Yeah.
So Claudius, so you go out there, take a look around, see what anybody needs, and yeah, he was right. It's quite a crowd here. They're like conversating, laughing, conversing. I knew somebody was going to correct me. I'm like, who's going to correct me? They were conversing with each other, laughing, drinking, a couple of them singing. From the looks of it, they all look human. They don't seem to be. A lot of them seem like travelers or maybe explorers, adventurers, scholars. They don't look to be like native to Thindol, or so it's possible they came from the seas, or even nearby Samarak. And then there's one at the table, not the table, one at the counter near the closest one to you, and your arcane sight immediately senses several magic auras on this humanoid before you. That's dressed in like a dark blue, like midnight blue robe, with their cowl on, and these like very thin, like light gray, like gloves on with like some runes that you can see on the back of the hand plate, the plating on the back of the gloves with some runes on it, and you immediately catch like several auras on this particular person. But you can't you can't see like a face or anything. But you hear them speak.
How many? One person or two?
It's just this one right at the counter. Everybody else is like in their seats and tables and whatnot. But you see, yeah, but he raises up a hand. At first, well, at first you feel like a tingle and like your ring of readiness just in just in case. You feel a slight tingle like this guy.
This dude got the freaking. This guy has like flash level reflex.
Right. You feel a tingle like this guy's about to do anything. I'm about to throw a spell right before he could even like lift a finger to trace any sort of magic. But
I got battle magic perception on 24/7.
But you sense no. Yeah.
Claudius goes around. He says he tries to act like aloof, like bluff, whatever. Like you're like, what would it be there?
So yeah,
it's like any innkeeper.
So as the hand is raising up, you don't sense any you don't sense any magic or anything being weaved or whatever. The hand goes up, and the hood comes down, and as the hood comes off, you see the very familiar face, and you can hear the you can hear the fatherly voice coming from him. It's like, it's good to see you again, my son. And I don't.
Shit.
And he's like, and I
is
don't.
Is that Daddy D or Rotham?
It's your father. It's Claudius's father. Yeah. Normally, he's the as you know already, he's the lore keeper at the
right.
At the
they didn't really have like a terrible past, correct? It was really with his mother.
It's the mother that was heavy-handed, extremely overbearing. Even militant in a sense.
Claudius tries to think back real quick. What was his old man's favorite drink? If he knows, he should know.
Yeah, you should know. Yeah.
Assuming that he drinks, or even if it's a non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah, no, he drinks.
So he brings some out,
a lot. I'm sorry. Nah, he's not alcoholic. He drinks.
he brings some a brew, something that he knows he'll like. Oh, been a while. Good to see you, old man. How you been? And then he pours. He pours himself also as well.
Doing the best. But
what brings you all the way out here? You're far away from home.
I know what's about to transpire, Claudius.
Now, how will you know?
And I don't want the last time we've met to be. I don't want that to be the last time. There's going to be a last time. And I pray to the gods that this isn't. Let it be tonight.
Well, I have no intentions of kicking the bucket yet. So, yes, what we intend to do might seem impossible, but don't count on,
It's suicide. It's suicide, son. It's suicide.
Damn. This nigga said, you don't got the juice, son.
But but miracles do exist. And if there's anyone that can conjure a miracle, I see it in you, my son.
Well, where we're going, if a miracle is to happen, it'll definitely be one of us. Not even the deities of good or light could reach anywhere there, from what I've read.
And there's
But I
more.
do.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Sorry. Claudius pauses for a few, for a bit. He takes a drink, and then he looks up. But I do appreciate you coming here, and I know that you don't understand and probably would not approve of what I'm about to embark in, but it is, what is life is not worth living if you're not living life for someone.
Mm.
If I don't do this, whether we're successful or not, it's not something that I'll be able to get over. You know, I'll have regrets. I'd rather live a life without regrets than to be a coward.
Mm.
I understand the meaning of regret. In fact, one of the reasons I'm here is to finally do what I haven't done and should have done. To be upfront with everything that I've been feeling. And then we go to Valenum.
He's cliffhanging, son.
So Valenum, you hear a voice, and it's Jenya's as you're walking the halls of the temple of the Iron Martyr. It's after the feast. You hear Jenya. She calls out. She's like, she goes, Valenum, I understand what you're about to do. I understand what I must do. But I really wish and hope and pray that Carceria is not the place you become a martyr. Could really use you here back in Cauldron when all is said and done.
Jenya, my old friend. My shield made in a fight to keep Cauldron safe.
I like that title, Shield Lead.
It means a lot to me, these words that you share. But you must always remember that which is lost is never lost forever. Should my shield return here with Cauldron with my body upon it, you must understand. It would be meant to be in that case. And it would be honored. It would be the honor of myself and all before me. If you were to take that shield and hand it to the next man or woman who would stand and fight in my place for Cauldron and step up to be that which I've left vacant. You see, that's what it means to be a martyr, the very definition of. The fight for Cauldron and keep it safe will always be as long as Cauldron is. Do not fret, for even you, your time ticks as you stand here before me too. You're choosing to spend that time in protection for something you care about. Cauldron. Don't fret. When you pass, someone will take your place as well. But for now, we have breath. And to keep it that way, And to make this breath worthwhile, we're going to have to go forward into the bowels of hell and fight our way back out. But such is the ways, because we are those who endure. Are you ready, Jenya?
I have to be. Yes.
I like that answer. You have to be. And so we are.
And then there's an interruption as Nehemiah comes over. He's like, sorry to interrupt.
No, Nehemiah, it seems you are always the bearer of foreboding but very important information.
He chuckles.
As long as it's not as long as it's different foreboding information. Please don't tell me that Lady Gao has somehow freed herself and is rampaging through the city once again.
I'm waiting until the day he gives you good news for one.
This dude always tells me the worst news, bro. He shows up, Gao is here. There's a fucking giant fucking sacred bird attacking the city. Vladru has been resurrected and he's giant, bigger than he used to be, and he's killing shit. I'm like, come on, bro. Show up and tell me. Show up one day and tell you happy birthday. How about that?
Okay, so Nehemiah chuckles and he goes, "Sir, indeed, Elmader must have made sure that this news was indeed a blessing, for I bear good news."
Wow, that's a first. You gotta celebrate.
He goes, recently, one of the servants was cleaning the rooms in the residential tower. And during a cleaning and maintenance of Taram's room, and he says it softly, as if saying it softly might cushion the emotional blow. But he goes, they
at the mention of Taram's name, Valenum rolls his shoulders to adjust the full plate on his body, but that's the only physical reaction that he shows.
It goes,
luckily he has on a full helm, so you can't see his facial reactions, but he just rolls his shoulders.
Well, we have it. An object was discovered. A small booklet. It was shown to me. It was discovered in an area that the young boy had hidden it. Sir, I think you should look at it.
I sense some tear jerking.
We have. It is placed upon his. I informed the servant to leave it on the bed in his room.
Thank you. I will make my way to Taram's course and and attend to it. Thank you. And so Valenum, after that, he turns around to Jenya, and he goes, "Little Jenya, I think I'll take this moment to attend to this little matter.
She's like, of course. I have to get those ready at the Vigilant Eye. Make sure all the preparations are necessary in case another attack might come. And to deal with the worst should Eddie Marcus, God's forbid, prevails. Must always be ready, for that is the creed of the ever-watchful.
Amen.
I bid thee.
Oh, and Jenya,
Yes.
don't drop your shield. And after that, he salutes her.
She salutes in return. She swiftly turns and marches herself out. She goes to, marches herself out so she can go back to her temple. Or fort, barracks, you know, if you can call a helms, most, I think they say most of his churches are like forts anyway.
For real, like
Um,
that dude's a god of protection. His shit's just like walls. All right, so Valena makes his way down the terms room.
go to his room, and just as instructed, the servants made sure everything was the way it is, the way it was, kept clean. The familiar smell of Tarim long gone from the maintenance, but at least the visual's still there and the memory. And there upon the bed is a very small papyrus booklet. And
Valena, he stands in like a stance, with his hands clasped behind his back underneath his his cape, and he just looks at the letter, or looks at the booklet rather, and he's just thinking. He's kind of trapped between the thought of waiting until he comes back from Carceri and kind of using wanting to read this book as a personal motivation to get back, or whether he should read it now in case he doesn't come back. But there's a part of him that feels like if he were to read it now in case he doesn't come back, that it's a show of his lack of faith in Almeida. That Almeida would bring him back, safely. But then again, like the within the dogma of Almeida, there's no the salvation for the Ilmatari don't lie in having a happy ending. It lies in doing everything that you can to relieve the burden of like those who you're championing who you're a champion of, like whose cause you're championing. Wow, I can't I can't speak right now. So it's a catch-22. It's like, do I take this one time to do something personal and try to use this as like a little like motivation for me, or do I just be like, no, just stick to what you know as far as like your religious drives are concerned, and just be like, no, that's just it's kind of like a luxury you're allowing yourself that kind of flies in the face of like you being stoic, like if you're not really concerned with like having a happy ending, you're more concerned with providing a happy ending, then you wouldn't need like a motivator to push you to go to like try to get a happy ending, if that makes any sense. So like I guess he's kind of fighting between what he wants and what he should do. And so he's just standing there trying to decide that in his head as he looks at the booklet on the bed.
as he's trying to decide that, Taram's window apparently wasn't shuttered properly, possibly, but the wind blows it open, and and before you could go over and close it, a white dove flies in, lands on his bed, and it like slowly walks on Taram's bed and kind of like nudges with his beak the booklet and looks up at you before flying back out the window. And
So when that happens,
with
slowly
your high
he slowly
religion, you
turns
know
around.
a white dove is a sign of a mater. So
Right. So with that, Valenum slowly turns around and he closes the door to Term's bedroom and then locks it. And then after that, he goes over to like the foot of the bed where the booklet is laying on his bed, and then he reaches up behind his head and undoes the clasp for his full helm, and then he opens it up because it's a full face helm, so I'm assuming like the way it would open up would be like a split from the back. So he opens the helmet up and he takes the helmet off, and and with trembling hands he picks the book up, and then he sits down on the floor like in a kneeling position with the book in his lap, and then he starts to read it.
you look at the first page, and it's written in his handwriting, and you can hear his voice as you read. And on the first page, it begins. Uktar, 10th day. Well, I've got myself a journal from here. Looks like I'll be writing down what's been happening with me lately. So, I have a family now, or should I say, an adopted father. And so Valenum's reading, and he's, obviously sees that these are journal entries from Taram. And it starts off with his first day, having been adopted. And we circle back to Cynthia in the room with Nijama. And Nijama turns to Cynthia, and she's already looking at Cynthia, but she's like, my confession is I don't know whether to call this. I don't know whether to think this to be selfish, but there was an ulterior motive of me making the decisions that I did, of disobeying my superiors, of helping you directly, of being stripped of some of the divine magic that was given to me. Surubar Spellmason was more than just a friend. He was my lover. And even though he was gone, I had to tend to my duties. But I couldn't help but watch, desired to continue looking over generation after generation of what our love spawned. Whenever they needed help, I was that guardian angel for them. And I was afraid to tell anyone in the group this. But one of the Shackled-born is, well, considering the hundreds of years I've lived, it would be a descendant of mine.
And now that you have shared this, how's your soul feel?
The burden is lifted. But I feel shame. I know I should have told everyone. And it was fear. Fear of what would happen should the superiors had found out. She looks so much like him. She's a mother, too.
Well, my lady, from hearing
I know.
just what you said so far, it seems to me that which you are confessing to is nothing more than simply being mortal. Or rather, perhaps being around mortals, you've come to view life through the lens of one. And while we are fallible, and as you have come to terms with the fact that you too are a creature of fault, now you've come to the one thing that we mortals have the greatest difficulty doing, at least those of us who are on the nice side, and that's forgiving ourselves. And so, my dear Lady Nidrama, with all your hundreds of years of wisdom, I ask for you to reach into it and forgive yourself for the only mistake that you're making, which is to love that which you've created and to care for it. Now you've come to trust us. You've come to see us as family, perhaps. And maybe that's what's moved your heart to confess what you've confessed right here today. And if anything, that's a great and positive outcome for this. But also, it should occur to you that perhaps if you did share this, you may find that those of us who are here and fighting on the same side will fight that much harder because they know they're not just fighting for themselves, but they're also fighting for you. knowing that you too have a personal stake in this, other than a moral one. To know that you're truly no different than the rest of us will bring us closer together. Even if it brings you further apart from the heavens that cast you out. Perhaps there was never your true place. Perhaps your truest place was right here in Cauldron, watching over the life that you've helped create for a better tomorrow. I think Almeida will most definitely forgive you. And I think, and I know, that the rest of the guys will definitely forgive you. But the answer is, will you forgive yourself? And I hope that in all your infinite wisdom, that answer is yes. And if that, with that, she leans forward and, kisses Nidram on the forehead. Obviously, after floating, because she's mad short. She goes, it is at this junction I would normally say, I bid you a burdenless forever, my child. But considering that, well, it would be inappropriate for me to say my child concerning someone such as yourself. Let's just leave it off here.
Believe it or not, Cynthia, your wisdom is far more vast than my own. But such is the potential of mortals. You know, well, of course you know. You're quite sagely. Us Celestials, it sounds cold. But a lot of us have been taught to not put too much into a mortal's life. For life and death are natural cycles of the multiverse. And should a good soul be departed, it will rejoin with us in the afterlife. They tell us to look at the bigger picture. I couldn't bring myself to do that. And I felt like a failure for a long time because of it. To hear these words from you, the very core of my being feels uplifted now. And now I'm ready to get back. Not just the soul of Lilandra, but all of the Shackled, and to save the souls here in the material world. Zaina, you feel pretty hammered. But your senses are still mostly there. You wouldn't be the legendary gunslinger you turned out to be if they weren't. Yeah, after half a bottle of this brandy. Or possibly to soon be a legend. So as you're exchanging stories with the Wind of the South, it gets to the part where you talk about what you wanted to do if you do come back. So she looks at you right into your eyes, as if she was looking into your soul. Alosa. And at first you're like, what? And then you quickly realize she's telling you her name. Because you never knew it this entire time. The name's Alosa, as I know. What do you want to do with the rest of your life after this? You're going to have a huge responsibility, and it's bigger than just Cauldron.
Oh shit! Does Zino got like some kids out there that he don't know about?
He takes a sip of his brandy and he ponders on the question. And then he says, I grew up with nothing. To ask me, where do I see myself after this? I didn't see myself being here in the first place. Cauldron has become more than just a home for me. But it's something I've grown to take care of. I've laid my life on the line here. To say that there's more to this than just Cauldron. I can't say that I've thought that far. And he chuckles clearly because of the the feeling of the brandy in him. He goes, I fought a dragon, for fuck's sakes. Where do you go from there? And lived.
You've been to the abyss, from what I've heard, and lived. Literal hell itself.
And here I am, going to another place.
Another hell. Huh. It sounds like your group has a theme going for it.
We do, don't we? We don't do it for ourselves. I thought we did originally. But I've watched friends die. I've watched friends betray us. And it became more than just survival. We looked at the people here and we looked at those who are willing to take up arms. It's because we've grown to become a part of it, to become part of Cauldron. How can I see something else besides being here? What else is out there?
Well, you're going to find out. If you come back from this, all the stories will spread. Whether you like it or not. There's going to be a long road ahead of you of doing more things like this.
He chuckles and he looks at Scarlet on his back. He goes, I'm supposed to give her up at the end. To say that I'll do that, who am I kidding?
That's good. Because you know what? Eldina never gave up on you. You were the son she never had.
I've gone hell and back to bring her back. She gave me this weapon, and it's become an extension of myself. Even if you look past the magic, the gods, my skill, her skill she gave me and taught me, led me here. And to give up the one part that she entrusted to me, it's blasphemy. I'll make a lot of enemies keeping Scarlet, but this weapon's worth it.
Well,
He takes another sip and he goes, Vanadium's not going to be happy.
well, your friend, your comrade, Vanadium, he's a man that's going to see through it with you to the end. I can see that in him. I know that about him. A lot of people do. He's already been in one holy war. Wouldn't be surprised if he enters another with Gaunt just to protect you.
I don't expect him to.
Oh, I think he will. Now to tell you about Scarlet. Excuse me. Oof, that brandy. To think there's another bottle here. Well, Aldina took this. She took this for a very good reason. And one thing you need to know is, like, a weapon such as this shouldn't even be possible to exist in this world. By not just Gond, but also in agreement with Mistra. This weapon shouldn't be. Yet it does. And Aldina had a reason for taking that. Get ready. And then she tells him the story. Which I'm gonna hold off on, because...
Let's do the cliffhanger.
I mean, I still have to develop it myself, but we can say we can still... I mean, I have ideas, but we can say Zino will know it all after this. Well, I'll tell you this. This is all... What she tells him is only what she is privy to, but there's more to the story she's not unaware of. And there's more that's being theorized, and that's just something he's going to have to look into. Should he ever should he ever choose to?
Oh, I will, because ain't nobody getting this gun from me, boy. Ain't nobody getting it from me.
Go,
Scarlet?
Yeah. We go over to Claudius.
Man, Mezwar needs to fucking be here. I need to hear his side.
I wish he was. I had something for him too.
It'd be funny if he shows up for the battle, though.
You know he would.
It'd be hilarious if he just happens to show up for the fight.
He's like, I skip that boring RP shit. I'm here for the battle.
I'd have been like, yo, coincidence just gave you
Louis,
exactly what
you
you
think I
needed.
want this to Raz?
Yo, he didn't even ask about the story. He was like, yo, did I level
He said,
up?
y'all level yet? I was like,
You guys level yet? That's all he cares.
You guys level up yet?
You guys rescue the shackle. What happened? Anybody
He
that
said, did I level? Really?
that dude wants to laugh.
Anyway, so we go, Claudius, your father. He goes, listen, my son. I never wanted you to go. To be honest, ever since you were gone, the relationship between me and your mother has never been the same. Yeah, we're still together, but hanging by a thread at this point. And just want you to know that I'm proud of you. Whether you stayed in Nimbrel as an innkeeper, with Sarah Lynn, you were happy. I'm proud of you now. As to me, one of the great archmages that I'll probably ever see. Claudius, I love you, my son. And you don't have to worry. Because should you not return, we're going to take care of things here. At least by my orders. It's good to have the position that I have in the cabal.
I had many years, decades in fact, to reflect. I never have held anything against you, although it made it seem like I hated you both. Very mature of me. But even mother, I hold no ill will. She's a product of her environment. That's what she is. That's how she got brought up to be. And heck, because of her personality type, is what have kept our cabal in existence for so long. So I understand that. And I am grateful to you for always letting me be me, not constricting me. You will never imagine how forever grateful I am. There's those little things that, that I just, that I'm forever grateful for, Father. And I love you too.
And then you hear a familiar voice right after that. I haven't seen you so long, but I love you too, brother. And you see
his sister.
Your sister come up to the counter, taking off her hood.
Oh shit, wait a minute.
I support you too.
Like
and your father goes, yes, we all support you. And you're like,
Claudius wears his emotion in his sleeve. He, smiles, almost like tearing a little bit on it, like right here as well.
I mean, he just man to start bawling his eyes out. Wait a minute.
It's been a while. He hasn't seen his sister and his father at the same time.
And
I mean, he won't hold his breath for his mother. That would never happen.
And
you only appear to freaking kidnap Claudius.
And you're as he goes, yeah, we all are. And your mother can get mad at us all she wants.
If I get through this, which I intend to, I need to introduce you to my companions. They're out of this world. And I am the most confident that if we're going to succeed, it will definitely be with this crew. And we definitely have to spend more time. Life is precious, short. We're not getting any younger. Especially you, old man. I get to call someone else old man.
Yes. So, just to show you how much support you have, I did something. And I don't care if your mom's going to be mad at me. Cares about the position at the black table anymore. And you can see the look on your sister's face. She seems to nod in agreement. And he's like I said, we all support you. And then everybody in that room, all the patrons, they all stand up.
Don't tell me
they look towards you, and as they look towards you, you see the Illuminated sigils flare up on each one by one.
That's dope, son. They didn't even know they were Illumians. Damn, you got your whole cabal in there. They snuck in there. You didn't even know. That's
know.
beguileless, bro.
He hasn't seen his cabal like in 3 decades, man. Shit.
They could have popped your head right off your neck.
And then your father and your sister.
Yeah, right. Not with all the buffs he has.
And your...
Yeah, right. Let him try, son.
And, and of course, your father and sister flare. Your father and sister flare their Illumian sigils as well in support. And
yeah, that's dope, son.
Had
to make that shit go with the music. It's like, they're all standing up.
Maybe this cabal will like what's that word? Splinter, 2 factions.
Pro-mom, one stays in Cauldron. That's dope.
All right. Anti-mom, pro-mom. Yo, mom is a dictator though. Don't fuck
with that. If that part of the cabal stays in Cauldron, I guess you'll have an organization then, won't you?
I know, son. He ain't even asking for an organization. They just like popped out of nowhere.
So your father goes, "We're here to support Cauldron when it's needed." So let
that's legit.
So legit.
That's godlike. Yo, that's godlike.
Let Addy Marcus. Then he's like, let Addy Marcus come with his minions. We'll do what we can to fix things here, help things out. Besides, we don't want that to spread either.
Of course not.
This region's already had to deal with the demon scar. Doesn't need any more extra planar
interlopers.
Correct. And he turns to the rest of the crowd and he's like, and your father nods to them. They nod back. They sit down. They let their sigils fade out. And they just go. They all just go right back to like the exact like act that they were doing before they.
This shit feels godlike, man. He feels he's like at home, man. Like very home. You never know who you're gonna encounter in the freaking sanctuary, man. Shit, might be on Minster one day, drinking some tea and shit.
We go over to Valenum, reading these entries.
That was dope.
And Valenum's reading them, and memories just burn into his core with each page that he's reading. From the day that he was brought home. You see one. You see one entry. He was 12.
Okay. Oh, I see him. Yeah, same age as my son.
You see. Oh, Matt disappeared. What the heck? Hold up. Where'd he go? Did he disconnect? Oh, there he goes. I was like, where'd he go? You hear me?
I had a refresh on my shit. Right after you said he was 12, it cut out on me.
Hold up, Claudius's. Alright, there he goes. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, he's 12. You're reading the entry. His memories are springing up and emotions and the feelings of those events. Uktar, 20th. Sometimes Valenum's regimen it's so tough. It seems so unfair.
I don't see Matt. Do you see him?
Yeah, I see him. It's not like the orphanage, that's for sure. And you see another entry. Took me to Claudius's sanctuary. It was a fun-looking place. Treated me to some great food. Wouldn't let me try the drinks, though. Even though I watched him guzzle down like 100 of them to try and stop Valantru from winning that contest. Maybe I could sneak a little sip. I thought about it, but I don't want to disappoint him. And he just
Lord Valantru, he cheated, by the way, just so everybody knows. Lord Valantru is cheating, and I didn't.
That dude was immune to that shit.
Right, he was completely immune.
Nightall. He's like, you know, he's reading more entries.
Action point.
Nightall. Feast of the Moon. Valatum. Or, well, this is, Valatum's telling me stories on the Feast of the Moon, as is usually done during this time in Faerun. Fascinating stories about the past and all these historical figures and legendary figures. We spent our night talking under the stars here in this tower. Yeah, that's right. The temple just finished too. Pretty neat. I have my own room. But he pointed up to the stars and told me how fascinated he was by them. He told me about the constellations and the stars and what the names were, from where he's from, in Damara. I definitely would like to visit his home. Valatum's just reading through more entries. He reads one that talks about, where Tarim talks about how he can't wait to grow up and be a knight. Just like Valatum. Just like, and you see where his writing changes from calling him Valatum to father. Just like father. But you know, at times he can seem distant. But I know he isn't. I want to learn everything I can about him. I want him to be able to open up to me just like I'm opening up to him. And then you read the last entry. It was the day that they took him. And he seemed very excited to continue his training once again, and to hear more stories from his father. Well, better get going. I have all these chores to do. I want to make sure I get them all done just right. And I want to surprise him too. Also, this is strange, but I guess it's because I'm learning also. And with him and Cynthia, all his friends, I'm glad to have met them. I'm glad they saved me from that monstrous beholder. I'm glad to be here. And I need to let Valatum know, my father, that not only is he just a great man, but I can imagine no other father that would be greater than him. Today I will tell him that I love, and it cuts out, because that was when he was taken.
That is so sad.
Damn, son.
This guy Valatum's gonna cry, son.
So then Valatum slowly closes the book, and then he sets it down next to him. And he just keeps looking at it, and staring at it as he's sitting on sitting on the floor, and like in like a prayer kind of like stance. And as he's staring at the book, he just says to himself, he goes, "Oh, my boy. They took my boy." And he just keeps saying that over and over again until like his voice gets so low that it just comes out as whispers. And then he sees like I don't think he doesn't really feel it so much as he sees like a tear, because his head was kind of like hanging down as he was looking at the book. A tear falls out of his eye and it lands directly like on the floor next to the book. And then he looks over at the tear, kind of curious about it as to why, like, what happened, pretty much.
That's the soul crying. The soul. His
Yeah.
body doesn't realize. His mind doesn't compute, but the soul is crying. It's hurt. His
And then,
last thought, son, was his father. That is so sad.
And then he hears, not so much as he feels, as he hears like the metal on the fingers of his gauntlets kind of like screeching, and he looks down and he realizes that his fist is like clenched and like trembling. And like after that he completely kind of just gives in, like his shoulders start bobbing, he's just sobbing.
Yeah, that shit hits home.
Yeah. All he could say is, "My boy."
And that dude was like, "Today I'm gonna tell my father that I love." Damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That was the day that he was taken. Kai failed to save him.
Bunch of cowards. They killed a 12-year-old boy. That's fucked up.
Damn.
At least Carolyn was already a woman in her 40s, but a 12-year-old boy, that's and
the fucked up part about it is, like, they went after him more than once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Vladimir got caught off guard because he thought he succeeded when he stopped him the first time.
Yep.
But that was before they really understood why they were going after Term in the first place. They didn't understand what the Shackled were.
We didn't know what the Shackled were, right?
Right.
As for like with Metsuar, I had this thing planned out for like his.
How you gonna do it?
Well, it was his the dwarven monks that he was raised with was gonna come visit him, and the leader was gonna chat. Was pretty much gonna chat with him.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe is it possible for you guys to fit it in on like a different day, maybe just YouTube, before we link up next time, so at least he could get the experience, like he could get the actual, like,
probably, yeah.
And then if you record it here, we could go back in and we could watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
You could put a link for us. We could watch it.
Yeah.
Because you're good at that sort of stuff.
Like I could just I could just record it and then
just record it. Yeah. That's a great idea, actually. We should have recorded today's session. Then you can send it to him.
I did.
Then again, he don't like.
Yeah, this records automatically. Like
I got this.
Ours is always streamed. But his though, like, if you could get some sort of session between now and the next time,
and then we could see, like, what occurred there. No, I want to see.
Yeah.
But
because if ours is this good, his got to be good too. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't have missed that.
Lewis put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah. And it would suck if he missed out on it too. I mean, the combat's gonna be dope and all, but this shit is like character development.
This was good. I like this. This is like character. Yeah, this is character development. I like that. Like building, it's almost like you gotta it's like a sponge. You have to like develop, grow.
Yeah, it's a good thing to leave off on. Like, these characters are gonna be turning level 20, so it would suck to come to like pretty much the capstone of your career, and your character's still like
pretty much they reached their capstone, level 20, son. It's like
gotta resolve those character development threads.
Gotta flesh out those
I'm ready to go in this prestige class. Okay, like I'm ready.
Why you
Listen,
Why are you?
I've been looking at this Grand Marshal class since like
Isn't that something you should have done
level
before?
15.
Though? Level
Hey,
20?
he can go.
Why are you looking at prestige class now?
He can
This
go. He can go. He can enter at an epic level. He can do that.
I'm just saying, I want to play this class so
No, by
bad.
the time you reach epic level, you're already like master already a few prestige classes.
is it one of those classes where it's
The
tied to an
Shield
organization?
Marshal.
Because if it is, they're gonna be like, well,
Shield-
motherfuckers,
Shield law enforcement.
Well,
we clearly
yeah. Well,
surpass
Shield.
everybody here. So
Well, a lot
come
of
on
it's
in.
it's let's say. Well, no, it's a I have to adjust it for the Forgotten Realms because what Pathfinder did was they in the beginning they came out with some like generic prestige classes. And then they got really heavy into like the archetypes. And they started to veer like away from prestige classes and focus more on archetypes. And instead, when they did do a prestige class, it was the prestige classes were specifically meant to be like campaign specific. So like
Right.
if you look at their prestige class list, a lot of it is like it's like you're in this prestige class because you're a member of this particular organization that's been around for thousands of years in this world and studies this particular magic,
Right.
or is from this region and studies this particular fighting style because it's from this region on this world. So, like that's how they've been gearing their prestige classes after the advanced. I think it was after like their second core book, because like that was the only other book after their second core book which had more generic prestige classes. Like they stopped doing generic prestige classes. They started doing like the campaign specific ones, and then they just did a whole shit ton of archetypes after that. So like with Shield Marshal, they're on the world of Galarian. They are the chief law enforcement officials of the Grand Duchy of Alkenstar, which is like a nation in Galarian.
Yeah, it's an organization.
Yeah,
So
and
when you go to apply, they're gonna be like,
and-
"Oh, you're automatically in."
and
You're like,
and the thing is that Alkenstar, the nation of Alkenstar in Galarian, is like the gunsmithing capital of the entire continent.
oh shit! So that means there'll probably be something that'll be on Lanton then, if anything.
Yeah, so like their abilities involve like law enforcement stuff.
Yeah.
So like porting it to the Forgotten Realms, obviously I have to adjust like where in the realms it would fit, and like Lanton right now Lanton's the best because like it's
so isolated.
It's a firearm prestige class, and the most like 95% of the fucking firearms are gonna be on Lanton. So,
it makes sense because like if you're gonna have an actual organization that uses firearms, and firearms are supposed to be like really rare, you wouldn't be able to have any other place other than Lanton really do it because it wouldn't be available enough for like an entire. Unless you got a situation like the way Zynel is right now, where Zynel was like a powerful gunsmith and he could like literally make his own guns and hand them out to people, like it'll be really hard pressed to find an entire organization that uses guns outside Lanton because they just don't let the information out, so it would have to be there. I guess the rarity of guns in Forgotten Realms kind of forces it to be that way.
What Zino wants to do is he wants to, which is, I mean, he's at the level he can gather information and study and learn about the Shield Marshals of Lanton, and he's gonna take that shit. He's gonna become one himself, but for Cauldron.
Right. It makes sense if anything that like that'll probably happen if he. Like, let's say the guardsmen come up to him and is like, "Yo, you got to get that gun back," and he's like, "No, I don't want to give it back. In fact, I'm going to argue against it." You know what I'm saying? And they're like, "All right, well, if you're gonna argue against that, then we have to hold like a whole like hearing and that hearing is basically going to be between you and our organization back on like Lantan. You could go plead your case or whatever, and then Valenum probably will go with them, to speak on his behalf. And so while he's there on Lantan will be the perfect time for him to like find out about or to bump into someone who's a marshal and see how they even, to come in contact with the organization in the first place. And then from there, learn about being a marshal and getting into prestige class. But that would be like him having to go and defend his case on keeping Scarlet in Lantan is the perfect reason for him to be in Lantan to even learn about it. So that works out.
We're making a trip, boys.
Yeah. Little trip to an island.
Yep.
Oh.
I could provide instant taxi services.
Yeah. Lantan and make a connect now. Because I'm pretty sure they know about you. You're going to be showing up there like level 19. I mean, you're a legend. It's like LeBron walking into a completely new place and is like, yo, I like what you guys are doing here. I want to learn some shit. Like, what are they going to say? Like, no? They're going to say, yeah. He's fucking LeBron. Imagine if that organization would have let everyone else know that, hey, did you know that Zino, the slinger of Cauldron, just joined us?
Yeah, they will probably want Sino to go with them for like that.
Oh yeah,
right. They probably won't let me. They probably don't want me to leave. Like, hey, listen.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you may be on their bad side because of Scarlet, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you're a fucking legend. I mean, they'll get over it. Once Scarlet's out of the picture, they'll be all over your dick. Like, hold up, wait. It's not too many gunslingers around, so you're level 19. Why don't you hang out here for a bit? Oh, I'm talking about when he goes before he gains that 20th level. Yeah, because
No,
remember he got to
20.
gain the level. Oh, he's already 20 now.
Yeah, everybody is except for this, except for fucking Mr. Saint here.
Yeah, I forgot.
And Cynthia, but Cynthia's a cohort, so that doesn't count.
Cynthia's a cohort, she doesn't count. I forgot.
Oh yeah, and Mr. Sainthood, he's 18.
Yes.
Oh, no wonder he's like, "Do we get any level yet?"
So yeah, I mean, they're not going. They're going to teach. They're going to let you have the whole kit and caboodle, bro.
Yo, this guy's straight gunslinger, level 20, capstone.
I want to get
saying, bro.
He's like he's the most powerful gunslinger ever. Like all straight up level 20 gunslinger.
And it's kind of crazy because that means he's probably stronger than any of the 4 wins. So that kind of throws a lot of things into whack.
Yeah,
because they previously to now are the 4 strongest gunslingers.
Yeah, they're probably
in
like
the world.
I'm gonna be the 5th. At least I'm trying.
Right, and I'm not sure if I don't know their stats. Louis stats them, but for the most part,
I'm gonna be the 5th, just like
most
gunslingers, emperor of the sea.
I don't know their stats. Louis stats them, but I mean, being level 20 is. And being a gunslinger.
Or better yet, the king of the gunslingers. King of the pirates.
The gunslinger king?
The gunslinger king.
Yeah.
I just want this ability. This is the only ability I want. I just want that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at the prestige class. I'm
like, I just want. It's like a fucking the swashbuckler of gunslingers.
It stops blink and blur.
Yeah.
Or that just says or similar effects. So like displacement too?
Displacement? Damn. Nah.
What?
Yeah, because blink and displacement both are concealment chances.
Due to concealment, blink, blur, or similar effects.
Yeah, it works on works on
displacement, yeah.
What ability?
Sure shot.
Sure shot. He just posted it on.
Oh, is that the Grand Marshal?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at it. Yeah. It feels like a combination of what do they call it? A Slayer.
It's like the swashbuckler of gunslingers.
It feels like a
because it got favorite terrain. It's like a Slayer.
It's like Slayer. Yeah.
Isn't a Slayer like
favorite terrain? Slayer's supposed to be crossed between Ranger and Rogue.
Yeah, it looks like almost like a Slayer.
This one is like Ranger and
Gunslinger.
Gunslinger, yeah.
So I guess
Like a bounty. It's a definitely like a bounty hunter type prestige class.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not missing shit with that shot. Plus my.
I mean, they got
I'm ready.
fucking never gets lost in an urban area. It's like an urban ranger mixed with a gunslinger. They get urban terrain as a favored terrain. They can close doors or open them as a swift action. Motherfucker be open. Call of Duty fucking type shit.
Oh yeah. This night
Motherfucker running through the streets with his rifle, just opens the door. That means this guy could open a door and get a full attack. Just open the door.
No, the scary part is not even that. The scary part is you could get multiple swift actions. So he could open the door.
Wow.
You only get one swift action per turn.
No, you could with like items and shit.
Saga, man. Saga, you can use a move action to turn into a swift.
Yeah, you think it was Saga?
I was thinking about Magic. I was just action economy like magical items. I just thought that. I mean, to be able to open the door, take your swift, shoot, and close it, and then use the item to still give yourself another action that you normally would do.
Oh, I
with
know
a swift, like your belt of battle or something like that.
Like something that gives an action.
Yeah.
Because you can still close and open doors with a move action. So.
Right. So he could legitimately open the door.
It's a move action to like close and open the door.
To like manipulate.
Yeah, to close it. Yeah, to manipulate objects is always a move.
So there you go, man. Move action, open the door, shoot,
and then swift action close it. So he has cover.
Go into sniping mode. That way you do like
I'm gonna kick that bitch in. You're like, you ain't got no warrant, so fuck your warrant.
There's nothing you can really do about it against a ranged person. They would have to move up to the door and then spend another move to open it.
They'd have to.
Well, shoot a ray or disintegrate.
Well, no, it's that or just ready in action to when he opens the door. But
true. But the problem is they would only get a ready to action, which means they won't be able to take a full.
No, they wouldn't be able. No, they wouldn't be able to full attack. They'd have to.
Right. So they get one shot. He would open as a swift, get a full attack, and still close it as a move. They'd be fucked. Completely fucked.
Ray disintegrate that door, son.
Yeah, that'll work. But then it only hits the door. Then the door's gone, and now he full attacks you.
But all right.
And then the 5 foot step behind the wall, and now you can't hit him anymore.
Night turns into morning as Claudius awakens in bed. Elena in Terram's room. His Terran's room.
How many days left until we depart?
His eyes feeling like sore. Zino waking up on the desk with.
I definitely slept in my office. Waking
up
right next to that empty bottle.
Empty room. Because Alosa's gone. Obviously, she left.
What? She didn't spend the night?
I'll kick that bitch out. Fuck her. You don't sleep with people you're trying to beat.
Final seed. Sachiku give birth to ultimate gunslinger. I'll probably be your gunslinger Grand Marshal man in the future.
Give her that sure shot.
Cynthia wakes up. Nijama is just praying in the temple. Like she don't need sleep. She's Nijama.
Oh.
It's the outsiders.
Nah, she doesn't replenish any spells or anything, so.
That too. She rests. She doesn't need to sleep.
Yeah.
Like meditating shit, like elves?
Yeah, she's praying. She's prayed all night, watched over the temple. She's the first alarm system in there. The guardian angel, literally.
That's dope.
How the hell the sewer bar did it, man? Doing it with an angel. You can't even like knock her out of sleep. Right? She'll be going and going and be like, oh shit. This lady ain't going to sleep.
They made sweet heavenly love.
Well, she still has a constitution score, so as long as she has that, she still has to go by fatigue rules and all that stuff.
Yeah, she can
still get tired,
physically worn out. She just doesn't need to sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I was about to say, man, these people are like energy. What would they even do with Immortal? Like,
He's
got what it takes.
Suraball was still tearing that back up, so
Yeah,
still...
he was.
Motherfucker,
He was
cast
that
Bears
stone
Endurance. Let's go.
He was an earth
Bears
magician.
Endurance.
He was an earth magician, like Bear Endurance, freaking earth.
Motherfuckers, like, we're gonna set up extra constitution for this.
He turned himself into a mobile earth to flesh,
son. He said, I could do something. There's a spell that works on me that doesn't work on you, any drama. She was like, what's that? He was like, enlarged person.
Yeah.
GG's.
Everything doubles.
Let's see.
Everything.
So yeah. And you meet up get your something to eat, drink.
It's a game day? We're like leaving today?
You prepare.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I thought we had like a day
Say
or
our
two
goodbyes, grab my
Well,
fire.
I had that. Well, yeah, I had that time pass by for like the stuff that you guys were trying to get. So like,
yeah.
So yeah, the night before was like
anybody wrote a will, last will and testament, just in case. Otherwise, your heirs are gonna be fighting for your belongings and shit.
I made sure I ain't got no kids nowhere. Okay, none.
I guess in Claudius's case, let me see. I guess his sister. I don't know.
Damn.
Oh, but yeah, you prepare your magic, and you enter the summoning room of the temple as your place of departure from this world.
Don't say it like that. Departure from this world. Hold
up. Right.
Shit.
The party's like, wait, don't say it like that. What the fuck?
That's just
Alice, get ready. We're going to Wonderland.
Going down the rabbit hole.
I love that new Matrix trailer.
Some new drama. Wait, can't she? Hold up. Okay, yeah, I thought she. Yeah, I knew it. I knew she could. Okay. Trying to see if the drama plane shift her on her own, which yeah, she can. She takes out from her from a small satchel she has. She takes out and hands it to who's doing the plane shift? Well, actually,
you're using a scroll, right?
What's her castle level? Maybe she can do it.
No resources. Scrolls.
Hold on. Oh, scrolls. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. You're like, well, she could do plane shift 3 times a day. Wow. Okay.
But you can't plane shift out of Carceri, right?
Yeah, she can.
Hold on. So she could just bounce whenever she wants from Carceri?
Yeah, she could. Well, yeah. I mean,
she could take people with her, right? With plane shift.
I mean, for the most part, unless she ends up in a part of Carceri where not even plane shift will work. But
I thought it was hard to leave Carceri.
It's hard if you don't have plane shift and magic.
It's hard to leave Carceri if someone puts you there.
Yeah, if somebody powerful.
Or if you're not a magic user.
Yeah, if you're like a powerful group of priests or like a god or like or a group of high mages or whatever, and you like do like a sort of like an imprisonment kind of like magic to like imprison, like what happened with the Titans in Carceri. A whole bunch of gods got together and sent the Titans there. And
so that means whenever we want, Claudius can use plane shift and get the group out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh shit! I thought that it was like a one-way ticket. That once you're there, you got to find some porter to be able to escape.
No, it's just hard to get around, and it's hard to leave for a lot of natives that are there.
So the restriction is for the natives then.
Yeah, Like they would
I
have,
can't just
they would have to,
native.
they would have to like somehow get on the river Styx or find I think they said there's like a rare portal every 5 freaking orbs or some shit like that. But yeah, it's hard to get off. It's hard to get off. On top of that, some of the creatures there don't want you to leave. The Demodons, they make sure people don't even try to leave. So if you can bet any portals there are probably being guarded by them. And there's probably certain, and there's stories of certain places in Carceria where like plane shift magic might not even work at all. You better find a way to get to like another area of Carceria for it to work, or even certain locations.
So, but let's say you meet a native who wants to escape, and I'll take it with me. Can you bring him with you?
You could probably take the native out. Like the only thing that would prevent that is if a creature was purposefully imprisoned in Carceria, then it'd be impossible for them to get out. Like the Titans, are fucking the ones that are imprisoned down there are powerful as hell. But even if they casted plane shift, it won't do anything. It'll fail.
Right. If someone sends your ass there and prisons you there, that's when you.
Okay, so when we leave Gale there, that means if somebody actually happens to know Gale, they actively want to see what she's at, and they find her, they can just plane shift her ass out of there.
Yeah. If we took her there, yeah, but if we imprison her there, it'd be a different story. Like if we cast a spell to imprison her in Carceria, she's not going to come back.
If she tried
like the spell that Marathon has, like in prison, would that work or no?
But that would work on any plane. But but for the most part, I think you probably need like a specialized way of banishing.
I think we decided that it'll be like Survivor of the Fittest. If she manages to survive, like with no weapons and shit, then she deserves a second chance or a 5th chance. We're giving her so many chances already.
I mean, because you could dump her. You could dump her on one of those orbs in Carceria that like doesn't have a portal, probably doesn't even have much life on it, and she's just stuck on that orb. Can't travel to another one.
The cage trites aren't even loyal to each other. Ain't nobody gonna come after her ass. Ain't nobody.
I mean, because it's an infinite plane, so you can just stick her on a fucking place that's like nobody really travels to, and she has no way off. The river Styx doesn't flow through it or something.
We're still doing that, right? We still bringing Gale with us, Gale, or no? I think it's a fitting punishment.
I think
she would love it too. She would love it. She'll get to fight. She loves to fight. She a barb.
Well, heck, Nijama could do that. Nijama could have done that earlier.
Sure, have her do it. Have her do it. It saves us the trouble. Come back.
Plane shift.
Can I mark her as my property? Arcane mark.
Creature touch. Yeah, she do on creature touch. So she could have just freaking touched Gao and just.
Louis, if I do an arcane mark on Gaio, and then later on I want to do let's say what is that shit called? A scrying. Can I scry on my own?
I think you can arcane mark somebody, but it only lasts a day. I think.
Are you serious? I thought that shit was permanent.
Yeah, no.
It
specifically says.
Is that a way to get around the restrictions of scrying? Like if I do arcane marks all over the place, and then I'm like, you know what, Louis, I want to scry on that arcane mark I did.
I think I might have saw a spell like that. Where it did do that with your arcane mark.
Yeah, that shit is useless. It's more cosmetic.
Oh, okay. If an arcane mark is placed on a living being, normal wear gradually causes the effect to fade in about a month. Yeah, so you can put it on a living creature, but it'll wear out after a month.
After a month, all right. So you can put my arcane mark there. Claudius is bitch at least for a month. Sounds good.
Yeah, you could develop a spell that interacts with arcane mark. There, instant summons does that. Instant summons works on an object that you cast arcane mark on.
Get out of here. Instant summons too. That's a school of conjuration. It just sounds like it. All right, I'll make a note of that.
Well, your characters. I mean, oh, it's from a scroll. So Nidrama hands over to who's using the scroll? Claudius.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to have the focus component on you. Or is that part of the scroll?
If it's a scroll,
For a scroll, I think it's all in the
I
scroll.
think it's
Because
all
when
in
you
the
prepared the
scroll.
scroll, you
Okay,
had to have
yeah.
the focus to prepare to put on the scroll to begin with.
True. So what Nidrama did was like, because you need a tuning fork for the plan that you're about to go on. So what Nidrama had did was she, Claudius Scott made the tuning fork. She took it to Carceri and then brought it back when the tuning was complete. So, and then you were able to use that tuning fork to create the plane shift scroll.
Nice.
For Carceri. Yeah, it's funny because the whole tuning fork thing. I'm like, a lot of people always a lot of people ask like, okay, a tuning fork will tune to the plane, but where are the mechanics for that? Like, how does that work? And they never wrote anything about it, except for this old ass Dragon magazine, where might have been a first or second edition rules. I can't remember which it was, but I'm reading it, and basically the guy wrote an article. I'm like, oh yeah, this is how tuning forks would work and what you need, and he had written it in a way where like the tuning forks were like you tune it to like certain like notes while it was on the plane. And then yeah, it was like based on like music notes. But obviously
I guess that would
it
make
was
sense because of like that one phrase, "music of the spheres," where it refers to like a sound, like a celestial sound that travels between like the planets. I think it was like an idea before we realized there's no fucking air in space. So how is that
so
possible?
sound can't
But
travel there.
there's actually a spell that's created like based off of that theme called "Music of the Spheres."
Yeah.
It's a cleric spell.
And but there was no updated mechanics for it for a long time. And then I was looking through so people were like just using that old article for like inspiration on like how to get a tuning fork. But then I saw I'm looking through because Pathfinder had their own like planar handbook, and I'm looking through that, and they actually did the mechanics for how to get a tuning fork. Like they had it all in there. I'm like, these motherfuckers. Pathfinder be covering shit that you were like, why did D&D cover this shit? These motherfuckers are coming to cover it. That's just hilarious. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, she helped get the fork tuned and gave it to Claudius. He was able to do the scroll, and he has everyone join hands as the scroll floats in front of him, and he begins to read the arcane words. And he says the very last line of the spell. And releases the magic scroll. The writing on the scroll vanishes. Vanishes, and it's like the ink that it was written in, the special inks that it was written in, swirl off the page. Well, swirl off the page and then swirl around the entire party, with their hands joined, and they swirl around everyone. And it literally it feels like the world that you're viewing is like it begins to swirl. Like all like reality itself turns to like just a swirl all around you, and you're like in the center, and then everything starts to go. Then there's like this burst of silver radiance, and the burst, it happens instantaneously, and it kind of explodes and then like implodes back in. As it implodes back in around your group, suddenly there's swirling magical energy that swirls in a vortex outward, and it does that. And as it does that, like you notice it's like a red. Well, first of all, the air feels humid. Your feet feel wet. Your there's like this mucky, cloying, heavy feeling in the atmosphere around you. The smell is like a mixture of like rotten vegetation, decay, and hopelessness. And you're like, wait, I can smell hopelessness. Like, where the fuck are we? What is
What?
this? And there's like a red tint to everything, kind of like you're viewing the world with like red, not like a blood red, more like a very light red tinted glasses. And like you look above in the skies are red, and you can see in the distance, like up in the skies, like there's no sun, there's no stars or moon or anything. It's just that red sky. You can make out a couple of dark clouds like in the distance, and this huge orb in the sky above you of one of the many trailing pearl-like orbs throughout the entire plane. But you can see the one above you is to the next orb. And obviously, since your characters are aware of the layout of the plane, if you were on the other side of where you're at, you'll see the orb from that, a different orb from that area, on that sky.
The objective now is to create the world.
But hold on. The hell? In this drone. It's like somebody's mic is next to it. Right.
That's a portal.
It does sound like a portal.
Well, check it out. Send the link.
Huh? Oh.
That's one of Cynthia's portal.
Oh, is that what you post? Oh, let me see.
Yeah, look at it. The portal, son. That's a portal we'll find in Carceri, maybe.
Oh, that's what I was hearing.
Ah, okay.
It's dope. Going to another dimension, man.
That looks like the portal Cynthia built to go to the
look, it says magic portal.
to go to the what's the name of that?
The Vault of Souls.
Vault of Souls. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Conqueror.
Corral.
Conqueror.
Yeah, something like that. Some spell weaver name. Corral.
That is dope.
Where was I? Oh, so hatred, betrayal, despair are known to suffuse the bleakness of this plane.
The fact that you could smell it is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Despair.
You are now on Orthris, the first layer of Carceri, also known as Tartarus, and known by many other names as well. The Red Prison and so many other names.
Diedrich Homeplane? He's a Demodon, isn't he? Our arch nemesis Diedrich.
Oh, he said Diedrich. I'm like, oh no, his name wasn't Diedrich. It was
D-Reed.
D-Reed. No, yeah, D-Reed. The leader. You're talking about the leader of the Cage Rights?
Yeah. Leader of the Cage Rights. Like I would call like
D-Reed's home plane.
Mm-hmm. With the mole.
So here you are on Orthris, realm of vast bogs and quicksand, with the river Styx that can run freely through the layer. And you got to be careful. Your characters are like, holy shit, I hope we're not near the river Styx because it can rob you completely of your memories. Yes. A place of fetid swamps thrive here where the river is not flowing. And it's a place that does have patches of dry ground, but it's going to be rare to find. And there are definitely randomly dotting through the landscape of bogs and quicksand are these rugged mountains. The sky is painted perpetual crimson. Mountains are jagged, and as I've already explained, the bogs are stinking. All inside of this hellish light, and you can even hear like the insect swarms all around you.
Damn.
Looking to feast upon anything tasty. But these are small insects. Nothing hellish yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if you bumped into some sort of hellspawn swarm of nasties. And you are here. And now it is time.
Endgame officially starts.
To travel to the next location, wherever that may be. But
we're in Dynamis.
He said we're in Dynamis.
Dynamis. Dynamis.
That was my first taste of anything, son. The gods and Dynamis, all that good shit. Back FF11 days.
And we shall end the session here.
We should resume next week.
Indeed.
Yeah.
GG's, everyone.